Good evening, everyone. I am Mitch, if you don't know, and it is back to Charity Hammer. Keeping it nice and chill. We have John Lennon versus Alex McDougall coming up. I do not know the other match off the top of my head, but we are going to be doing some giveaways. Sorry, guys. I'm a one-man operation at night. So, let's pull up. Oh, okay. I've got a Thunderfire cannon we're going to give away, but I have to have someone else to generate the numbers because otherwise it doesn't work. So I'm going to find someone to do that. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to hop back onto the stream, and since I don't have these items here, I'm not going to do this here. We'll just do it via audio with John yelling the numbers. So we're going to have some fun with that. Okay, hear me. Are you guys able to hear me right now? Peter, is there a problem? Are you all able to hear me on the stream right now? Excellent. Sorry, I don't have John here, so I've got to guess without your guys' feedback. Okay. So let me pull up the oh, actually, I've got Jesse here. Jesse can give me some different RNGs. So we've got a Thunderfire cannon to go with first. Let me get the spreadsheet up. Make sure it is up to date. Okay, I need a number between 1 and 200 or 340. Oh, 16? Yeah, I need anything below 100 is taken. $205. See what we've got here. 205. Bill Gross, you've won a Thunderfire cannon. Oh, let me make sure I type that in the right one. Okay, next up, we've got... we can do this over there. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. Be professional about it, I guess, if you want to. We have these lights and cameras.
Somewhere to
okay, feet up. So next up is going to be a blade guard box. I'm going to need another number.
What was my max pound again?
Like it was like 340.
Okay. In that case, 176.
Oh, I went too fast. 176 has already been done, so we'll go to the closest, which is Devin. Just straight up Devin. So you've got blade guard.
Good box.
Absolutely. So many bits. The Locust is next.
Ooh. 333.
Okie dokie. Oh, that is Lee Steger. Tiger. Heck yeah, he is here helping out with stuff. So, and he plays Space Marines. Or no, wait, that was the last one, Locust.
Yeah.
He does all kinds of crazy conversions. He'll have fun with that. Okay, we've got next up a Nexos.
Oh wow, someone's trying to do this. Let's do. What? 201.
201. Well, yeah, that's an anonymous donor. So we're going to go.
I'm killing it with ineligible guesses.
It's actually a pretty like we've given away a lot of stuff, and you aren't eligible again, so you're doing good.
Is it pick a number?
Yeah. Hold on. So this one is going to Tim the Sorcerer. So Tim the Sorcerer, you just got a Nexos.
Patreon number.
Yes, I recognize the name. And last but not least, a Dark Apostle. You want to go for a number, Harrison?
I'll pull a number.
Okay, between 100 and 340. Because everything under 100 is like taken. 260. Also nice. Greg Gonzalez.
Congrats, Greg.
Dark Apostle. He should already be over there.
Oh.
I think I'm playing
He's
Fred
sneaky like that.
on stream 1. I think it's happening.
Yeah,
next.
something to that effect.
That is.
Are you playing this round?
Yeah,
Excellent. What are you playing?
I'm playing Sisters.
Again?
I only brought them on. I was debating bringing my Space Marines as well. I play a Space Wolf successor that is just fun.
That sounds like the correct answer.
It really just is.
Yeah.
Their toolkit is one of the most fun. Now, granted, Blood Angels is really, really cool and fast, which is a fun way to play
And
this
really
game.
good, yeah.
Yeah, really good, really good. Yeah, Sisters. I guess since it's not the GT game, I could make a quick edit to my list
You
if
can
I
call it
like it a little
audible,
bit
yeah.
better.
That's what these games are for, is you get good opponents, great experimentation, eaten by mosquitoes, a lot of upside.
Are there mosquitoes here?
Yeah. Not a lot, but they exist. They are around. You will get bit.
Gotcha.
But-
I'm glad I'm covered up then.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will make the changes I was thinking about.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do that. I
Awesome.
now need to.
Well,
do this
so we're
live.
gonna let him go so he can do that. But
Thanks. Have fun.
yeah, thank you so much, Jesse. So guys, we're gonna let everyone get settled in there, and I'm gonna just pick a topic about 40K that we're gonna just vamp. I guess we'll just vibe. I'm gonna ask Tyler to give a topic, maybe.
Actually, like to play.
The faction I'd like to play after the data slate I was not expecting. That's a really fun question. Let me give that a moment of thought. So it's gonna still probably be Imperium. That I wasn't expecting, I think, is probably Deathwatch. Deathwatch have so many tools, and the fact that you can just like windmill slam down Terminators or different like profiles so effectively that and really get the most out of Armor of Contempt and Combat Squad when you need to, but use them as meat shields when you don't. And there's just so many pieces to it. I don't have the time right now to commit to learning that technical of an army, but that is the one I think, looking at the world that has emerged, that I'm like, oh, that seems really, really fun and like a great hobby project as well, because the models are just super cool because they're some of the newest Marines. What's next? Let's see.
Gameplay.
Which Baneblade variant? Right now, I lean towards the Bane Hammer because you can modify advances and charges by half, reduce them by half just by hitting. and you can still have 10 dudes firing out of it, so you can do mortars if you want to be cheeky. You can do like vets with plasma, all kinds of different things you can really go with there. And the main gun is still reasonably good, whereas the Stormlord is just sad. So the Bane Hammer over the Stormlord for that reason. It's also a bit cheaper, I think, at like 30 points cheaper, something around there. It's still too expensive and it still can't hide. But yeah, it would probably be the Bane Hammer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a solid. I'd give that a 4 out of 5. Absolutely. So we're just having someone check to see if the tables are ready for us to swap over. Again, we're doing all of this for Child's Play. They are a charity that buys toys, video games, board games, and also employs staff to set those things up and make sure that sick children can interact and enjoy them while they're having going through obviously really, really hard times. So they are an international charity. They also do the same thing in domestic abuse shelters, and they are just a phenomenal charity. Every single penny of what you donate goes directly to the charity. Everyone here is here on their own dime, doing what they can to get it done, and we are all just trying to give you guys the best show possible. So you will donate money to get those raffle prizes. Remember, that's $30 increments. Gets you an entry in the raffle. The more you do, the more of a chance you'll have to get something. We have top prizes like $1,200 from Hammerhead Games, and $1,200 in store credit. To be clear, they're not going to just hand you cash. And then a custom painted army by Sean Naden, the captain of the WTC team, the USA WTC team himself, and just tons and tons of crazy cool models. You saw me just give away 5 here. I'll have more to do later. It's going to be great. Donate. The more you do, the sooner you do it, the better your odds are. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. CharityHammer.com, obviously. Yeah. And we are just taking the vibe down to, we're after midnight now. Oh, this is night 2, and it's going to be a long one, and I mean that in a great way. We've got tons of content coming up. Stream 3 will be dark until 6 a.m., but we've got John Lennon playing, I think it's Alex McDougall, but I could be wrong on that. It might be a different pairing, but I will get that info once I have everything set up, and we will get that covered. So if you guys will give us just a couple more minutes, on our way.
All right, Chris, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the midnight shift at Charity Hammer. Well, it's not midnight for me. I'm over here in the UK, so it's just turned 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're ready to have some awesome games being played. And we'll let you know when things get started properly. Looks like we currently have Matt on Speed Bugs versus Anthony on City Cones on stream. Though I think that's an old score sheet looking at the table setup, so we'll figure out who exactly is going to be on this lava table here. I do know that we're going to have, I think it's Fred versus Jesse and Alex versus John. So we'll see what they're running and what's. Pardon?
One. Good morning, Chris. Welcome.
Good morning.
As it is breakfast time for you. But it looks like we're going to have John Lennon versus question mark, which is very exciting.
An unknown. I will update my post-it notes. I'm just going to make a whole new post-it note. That's how important this is.
Years of academy training wasted.
Exactly.
But yeah, some great games going on so far today. I'm excited for a couple of really good ones. I mean, I'm sure this one is going to be amazing. It was originally meant to be like John Lennon versus Alex McDougall, right?
I think that's what the schedule was saying. That's why I was saying it was Alex McDougall versus John Lennon, but versus a question mark. That is a mystery I'm keen to solve.
Just don't update it. If Table Boss can not update it, and then when Alex leans over the table, we'll know for sure.
Mm. So how has your evening been going so far, John? Has it been going good?
It's been pretty good. So yeah, looks like actually going to be John versus Jesse Sal. Jesse just won BAO with his sisters, so it should be a good battle. Especially John, very familiar with sisters. And then the thing is, just before he jumped on the stream there, Chris, Jesse is going to make a couple changes to his GT list. This, of course, is not part of the GT, but just, I guess, an honor duel because John didn't make it out to BAO, so he obviously wants to continue to win everything.
This is going to be an amazing game. I'm looking forward to watching the sisters because they just got a whole bunch of buffs, right, in an Nephilim. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, a bunch of stealth buffs too, like being able to take more than one faction secondary really works for them well. The points drops in some of their like tankiest or beat stick units work really well. It's a super good match.
Yeah. And are they playing? That was like what, Tides of Conviction? Are they keeping that set up, or are they going to be changing to a different mission?
Let's look here. Let's try and
They've got the
spy
book
on
out.
them.
They're looking at the Scouring.
Looking at the Scouring.
I love the Scouring.
Matt, you do? What about
I mostly play melee armies, so I just like being in the middle and mucking things up.
Fair. Big fair there. Hey.
Now, see, when they said menage, I mean, never mind. But like, this is exactly what I was hoping for. 2 Scotsmen.
Oh hell yeah! Are you hearable, Mitch, or do I just sound insane right now?
Oh, am I not hearable right now?
I don't know. You should stick around though.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, am I not hosting anymore? So I'm just behind the scenes now. Okay.
No, you no, do all 3. We'll just menage a trois. It's after. It's where it goes.
What would the Scottish term for a menage a trois be?
The lucky bastard.
I like it. Okay.
Things that are not polite enough, or sorry, too impolite to say.
Yeah.
That's such a lovely event.
Sure.
Things that will get us demonetized or kicked off of Twitch. Got you. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
things that will have Colin messaging me going, "You did what?"
That word doesn't mean the same thing.
I did my annual piece of Scottish commerce today, buying a new football top. Then after that, it's no more money to that country, sadly.
We will be contacting the winners of the giveaways. When they donate, they have to do it with an email available, so that is how we will be reaching out.
Yeah, no one's going to be missing out on these amazing prizes. So don't
just
feel
the
you have
people
to
who
watch
don't
everything, just
donate.
watch as much.
Obviously,
yeah, just donate and watch as much as you want to watch. Leave the stream on. We don't mind.
I mind a little. It's fine though.
I'm just talking to an empty void that is my office. It's fine.
What is Mr. Lennon playing? Do you know, Mitch? Or is that who's playing this game?
John and question mark. It looks like Fred.
Okay. I thought that was Jesse in the bottom right.
I'm gonna go. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go figure out what's going on there and make sure we're good.
I'm gonna make more post-it notes apparently because I just wrote on John versus Jesse.
I think the important thing to remember is we're all doing this for charity.
Exactly.
Chris here, giving up his breakfast to come in and help talk through some amazing games with some of the best players in the United States here. Seeing as the majority of the top 5 at ITCs in the UK, I can't say that. But this event is for Child's Play. Child's Play is a game industry charity dedicated to improving the lives of children and teens in children's hospitals around the world. They have a network of over 180 children's hospitals worldwide, and not only that, there's 200 domestic violence shelters across the United States, helping out wherever it is needed. All of the proceeds for today go directly to them. No one is taking a cut. Colin is hosting this, Colin Sherman hosting this at his own place. All the players showing up here on their own volition and free will, mostly, to kind of stream as many great games of 40k as they can within this period. Hundreds of hours of content. Go to charityhammer.com to donate. For every $30 you donate, you get one raffle entry to win a whole bunch of amazing prizes, including a 2,000-point commission painting job from Team America captain Sean Naden. Sorry, missed it up at the end there. That's fine. But you can update your post-it note, Chris. We have the right opponents.
Hey, wonderful! I'm gonna dig this one out of the pile because I think I already wrote this. Oh no, wait! I screwed up into a ball. Never mind. Mistakes were made.
Want that pile?
Yes, and there is also a top donor prize that wasn't mentioned there. So if you fancy spending some big bucks and trying to give the most amount of money to the charity in a single donation, you can win a set of these lovely objective markers made by 3D6 Wargaming, and all the players are going to sign them, so they're going to be unique. And what I think is the ultimate flex. Go to rock up to a tournament, slap down these markers, got all the signatures on there. Maybe someone you're playing against has already signed it.
Yeah, it's a pretty baller move. So to give you guys a little detail on what we're seeing here, so we've got Fred Fortman versus Jesse Sell, and this is going to be a real interesting one because with Armor of Contempt, Fortman is really doesn't have a lot of AP unless he gets into combat. However, we're going to slide over to our other game real quick because it is also very interesting. And the table is not set up yet, but you're going to see some hints maybe of what's going on. What do we have here?
Fred versus Steve. Fred's on 2 tables.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh, there.
Just
oh my
updated.
days.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of.
This is late night Warhammer, guys. We've got John Lennon playing Imperial Guard against Alex's BSC. Like, just amazing. Just an Art of War off for the ages.
Guys, you got to let John Lennon sleep, otherwise he's going to do crazy stuff like play a guard.
He actually just woke up.
Well, maybe give him some coffee then, because he's playing guard.
No, that's how we got him to agree to this.
So did he just miss playing guard so much from the worst RTT that happened feels like ages ago now. Way back when
back in the early Thursday morning.
Yeah.
A whole
25 years ago.
Whatever it is now, yeah. It's I think that this was a request, and I think it's also an experiment of like how much did the new guard rules really make a difference.
So how many ratlings are going to be in this list, though? That's what I want.
None. Because
involved. Sad. I was so hoping the ratlings would just go up and punch Tiggy at one point.
They'll stop the uprising with just a swift crotch punch because that's as high as
it was great when you're like, oh, you know what? I can't include Crusaders. They're low key good at 17 points each for a 1 wound model.
Well, we definitely see a lot of tanks in that Imperial Guard army. We'll try and get some sort of lists there, but a bunch of tanks, a bunch of infantry.
I also know that
guard.
Jesse is in the other game is playing a changed up version of his tournament list to see if he likes it better, and so he is experimenting with the new mission pack and updates as well.
I do like that Alex keeps grabbing ruins away from John in order to place them in a way that's beneficial for him.
It looks pretty even, table. I don't think. I mean, it's just a plans generations in the making. It's hey, you move this building over here. My grandfather built this building.
Like that's my building
for this one purpose. Hiding from a Lehman Russ battle tank.
Looks like they're playing Recover the Relics based on the layout here.
Just testing, is my audio coming through?
Your audio is coming through okay, not brilliant, but okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hey man, even better.
Yeah.
So yeah,
do we know what kind of GSC we'll be seeing John running into? Is it fighty GSC? Is it more of a shooty GSC?
I think it's the kind that comes in from Deep Strikes.
Oh, what?
That's literally the level of detail I've been given so far.
Fair
So-
enough.
We're gonna see.
I
a
mean, we're
bunch of
still in
tanks
Steve's
versus a
turn
bunch of
1, so
tokens.
Steve coming in with a steel chair.
This GSC is mixed from deep strike and shooting.
Told it's a mixed GSC from Deep Strike and shooting. We saw this actually last night in the last game I commentated there, where Alex does an amazing job of screening out objectives with those stupid markers. So hopefully we'll see this here too.
Yeah. And there's certainly loads of lovely guard infantry to screen out all the GSC shenanigans with the deep strike. So the GSC have got a fair few units to shoot through before they can maybe get some nice crossfire going onto those even battle tanks. Because otherwise, I don't see how they're going to go down. Now that they're toughness 8 with armor contempt and a 2 of armor save. It's a nasty profile.
Yeah, even though they're wearing t-shirts, how do you guys feel about the 6's wound on the little flashlights on all those guys there?
So I had the pleasure of playing against a guard horde when that first dropped, and unfortunately I was running Salamander Terminators, so it was kind of okay for me. But the number of dice I had to roll was actually low-key scary at points, where I was like, I might just lose 3 guys now, randomly, because he got all the orders off and everything, and it was like Katie and Conscript horde.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, so you're gonna take 60 wounds. 60 wounds. No, there's not. There's not AP to this. What do I look like? Like a real faction? No. I just get to roll a lot of dice and watch you make a lot of 2s.
I was more impressed that the guy played within the round time, and we were doing 2.5 hour rounds in that event.
Yeah.
So we had an hour 15 on the clock, and he was able to do. He didn't skip out on any shooting of any units at any point. He was like, I'm going to do everything I can. And I was helping him by picking up models for him.
A man after John's heart, not using a dice roller.
Yeah.
If you play horde armies, learn how to play a horde army. It's not hard when you practice.
I think I'm seeing him tomorrow at an RTT, which that's going to be fun if we get paired into each other. We've had some good games.
While they're deploying here, Chris, well, what are you taking to that RTT? I'm intrigued now.
So I'm currently thinking about White Scars, actually. So I've been on the Blood Angels kick for a while, but I'm going to try out White Scars. WGC is getting close, and I want to make sure I'm experimenting with everything that I can. So it's surprise, 30 Vanguard veterans, and then friends, White Scars.
Nice. Jumping in real quick, chat. Yes. Whoa, this is actually live. However, if you're watching it later, it is actually a replay. Just to make that as clear as possible. And there is not a legit allowed dice app because they're terrible things that shouldn't exist.
Yep. Just roll your dice.
Yeah, just roll it. It's just part of the game. Damn it. Anyway, Chris, you interrupted. I interrupted you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so taking White Scars, so it's Kasar Khan, Phobos troops, aggressors, Guard. I'm running the Primaris Apothecary, who will be carrying Selfless Healer and the Range Runner as my only 2 relics, and Warlord trait. And 30 Vanguard veterans with Lightning Claw, Chainsword to be cheap and cheerful, some hammers on the sergeants. Squad of the Assault Marines, now that they're cheaper, and get free War Gear on the sergeants. So that's nice. So he's carrying a Lightning Claw Thunderhammer for reasons. And then the good old Devastator Rhino coming in with all the Melcha and all the Grav. Standard White Stars stuff. No Inceptors, Martine is asking. So to answer Martine's question in the YouTube chat, no Inceptors. I'm just seeing how big tanky I'm going to slap you in the face. White Scars will do. If I don't like it, I'm just going to go back to Sanguinary Guard. Which is a pretty good fallback.
Yeah, it's going to fall back to the thing that got hugely buffed.
Exactly. I mean, my list only
it doesn't work. Points. I'll just fall back on my better list. It's fine.
Yeah. Like I only gained 42 points in my list I took to the Newcastle GT, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. 47 because the speeder went down by 5 points for some reason, which I did not understand how that store speeder went down in points.
Because no one's buying the kits, Chris. The points will increase when they buy the kits.
The points will increase when sales improve. What part of this do you not understand?
Martine, no Assault Centurions in this version of the list. I was going to run them, but then I could get my hands on enough Vanguard veterans to run the list. I think was actually going to be better. So Assault Centurions are great into a Terminator based matchup because they give you lots of damage forward. So even through Death Guard, they punch through after their damage reduction. But thinking for like WDZ, we could probably just avoid Terminator matchups for my mostly damage to army if needed. So no Assault Centurions.
I very much hate damage 4 as a Death Guard player. It's the bane of my existence.
Yeah, well, I played into Deathwing and so Deathwing Terminators and Thousand Sun Terminator spam and Newcastle, and the Centurions had a very fun time in both those games. Taking I think a total of over 2 games of about 10 damage. But it was a Death Company who came in with the Thunderhammers, just wiping out 7 Scarping out Terminators for no reason. Yeah. Yes, we're trying. They aren't advancing. So with advanced charge, they aren't that slow. The Assault Centurions and White Scars, but I think there's just so many points you can fit a squad of Vanguard Veterans and a squad of Assault Marines and have points to spare. For the price of 5 Assault Centurions. So it's all about that cost benefit analysis. But that's why we test lists. That's why we go to RTTs and test lists and do all the fun stuff before we go to World Championships for the first time and hopefully bring some points home.
Well, at least no take a 0.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's fine. It's just Innes is going to get 0. It's fine.
Just gonna set him up as a ringer, like 4th in the world, about the worst on teams.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we'll 7 of us we'll get 20s. Nah, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm looking forward to our pod. So, are we setting up this game now?
Yeah, so we're setting up
ranting.
Fred's Death Watch against Jesse's sisters again. Like Mitch let us know, Jesse doing a small variation of his GT list. So we'll see what gets up on the table here.
Yeah. I see lots of bikers, so this is definitely Death Watch. That looks to be a Primaris Chapman on bike there, sitting in the middle of the table, looking a bit lost.
There's definitely there's also a couple heavy Thunderhammers in there. This is the same as the last thing he ran against Steve Trimble.
Nice. Okay, those heavy Thunderhammers just coming in with that maximum bonk energy.
To be fair, though, those Thunderhammers, he managed to whiff every single swing by rolling 1s in the last game.
They should try not doing that.
Yeah, just roll good.
Yeah, just
roll bad.
Yeah.
But I think what's super interesting to see in these 2 games that we have set up here, Jesse's experimenting with some new sister stuff here against Fred, who, like in the last game, he's a GT winner from Hawaii. He does a really good job in the Pacific Northwest there. And then over another table, we have 2 great players in John Lennon and Alex McDougall, and John Lennon trying out maybe some new guard jank with those armor contempt changes.
Yep. What is the usual AP for like GSE shooting? Do we know? Like, is it like -1, -2, roughly?
It's good.
I'm trying to think. I know there's seismic cannons. I think they're preferred anti-tank ranged gun, and that's AP2. So those Demon Russes are going to be on a 3-up save against those, which is just not enough. So some jank is going to happen there.
Or some heavy bonk.
Jank and bonk is how you win 40k games.
Even then, the shortwave seismic cannon is only strength 6. So we get the situation where Lehman Russ is a really good toughness value into that as well. It's only damage 2. And there's a lot of armor on John's side of the table.
And I think there's an upgrade, one of those tank commander upgrades, which is -1 damage for Lehman Russes. Which just entirely makes that shooting non-existent, basically.
Hey, Vic, number one player in the world, checking in. We're going to try and get player mics because I kind of really want to hear some of these players' talks on this. Mitch, can you let us know we can do player mics on these? No. Table boss, can you let us know if you can set up player mics? At least for
The
landing.
players have mics on. John and Alex have mics on, and they are showing up as inputting for me.
Yeah, we'd be really keen, and I think that the chat as well be really good to hear kind of the thoughts of John and Alex and those.
Okay, I will see if I can figure out, because they have mics on.
Mm-hmm. We're being told by our production they have mics on. I think we just need to figure out the OBS way to turn the mics on. Again, as much as we want to watch Fred versus Jesse, see and get a chance to see John Lennon experiment with Armor of Contempt with Lehman Russ is a huge thing to be able to see.
Oh yeah, it's such a massive showcase and an exhibition of the new rules, which could change everything. Maybe this brings Guard's win rate up by a lot, and they start to get some nice wins in there.
So, and then Chad, just letting you know, we're watching Fred Jesse right now, but we are looking at getting John Alex. Hopefully. But while we wait for that. Sorry, you were saying, Chris.
If Fred's running the Army of Renown for Deathwatch?
He was in the last game, so I assume it is in this as well. That's where most of his games have been recently. So this does look to be the Army of Renown for Deathwatch.
Such a great little set of rules that where you can just jump between the different chapters. Mm-hmm. And also you have that lovely 3 CP stratagem, if you can afford it nowadays, to just say delete a thing with Butterfire.
Yeah, CP, much like gas prices. Very loud. Very hard to come by. How do you think that's going to affect an army like Fred's? I mean, Warhammer community and all of kind of the main places we're talking the past couple of weeks, where the CP mostly stays the same. It's the distribution during the game that changes. How does that affect an army like Deathwatch?
I think you need to have a really good plan going into the game of, I know at one point, usually around turns 2 or 3, when I may be sitting in the tactical doctrine to trigger that 3 CP. So maybe you need to make sure you're starting off with 1 CP in your list, then you'll gain 2, or so you gain 3 CP before your second turn happens. Mm-hmm. And then that way you also have a chance to CP reroll something that's unlucky. Or you just say, screw it, I'm just going to have no CP and not spend any CP in the first few turns and just do it that way. But I think most lists, particularly Marine style lists, need to have 1 CP starting the game, so that if they do get alphaed by something, they can have that chance to interrupt or use a powerful defensive stratagem like transhuman physiology on a larger primary scale unit. Yeah. I'm not too keen on what the other Deathwatch stratagems are. I know they have a lot of really nifty, tricksy ones. But I imagine, again, they all cost CP at the end of the day. So you need to have that game plan going in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to ask Tibboss here if we're able to switch the stream over to check the Alex McDougall John Lennon game. That way we can kind of see where the deployment is.
I guess, John,
point.
Just for you.
I appreciate that, Table Boss there. Again, John trying out the new guard with the Armor of Contempt. You can see heavy tanks. Alex with a combination of deep strike and shooting shenanigans, we were told.
And we've also got all of the new guard secondaries being shown here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go and get my Nephilim book so we can look at what these actually are, because I have no idea what any of these words mean. So I'm going to be back in 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're doing that, I'll look at my Nephilim book right here. We can go through what some of these are. So the big change coming out of the Nephilim pack, you're no longer limited to a single faction secondary. And that's where a huge boost to the guard. So he took Special Orders, which is a shadow operations. It's an action. You take 1 infantry unit from your army, and you start performing this action at the end of your movement phase. If it is within 12 inches of a friendly officer and is within range of an objective marker you control that is not within your deployment zone, has not already been expunged by your army. This action is completed at the end of your turn. If completed, that objective marker is said to be expunged. Roll a 1d6 each time you do. On a 6, you get a command point. And we're seeing these secondaries throughout the book as ways of gaining command points on 6. Great objective for really adding to your command point pool, especially with the small pool you start with here. We also have Boots on the Ground, which is 1 victory point for each table quarter that has 1 or more regiment infantry unit from your army wholly within it, excluding characters, and units that are within 6 inches of the battlefield. So 1 victory point as well if 1 or more units from your army equipped with regimental standard are either wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield or wholly within your deployment's deployment zone. And then he also took Inflexible Command, which is 2 victory points if every Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army is within 6 inches of an officer. 1 victory point if every Astra Militarum vehicle unit from your army is within 12 inches of a friendly vehicle officer. And 1 victory point if any enemy units were destroyed by an Astra Militarum unit from your army this turn. Well, that Astra Militarum unit was being affected by orders. These are all great secondaries and a huge buff to the guard to be able to take more than 1.
Oh yeah, like definitely. I was just reading through that last one there as you're going through, and it basically just, in my eyes, read play guard, score 10 plus points.
Yeah,
because that last one, you want to be hugging your officers, and also importantly, transports. When an officer's inside the transport, they count as an officer itself, the entire vehicle.
Beautiful.
So it allows you to have that mechanized infantry fantasy going.
Absolutely. So we're seeing from Alex, and I know you have the book there as well, Chris, that he took R&D we're still retrieving our servo skills. He took Bring It Down, which John, obviously against Imperial Guard, you're going to want to take out those tanks. What is Brood Swarm now as part of the Nashman pack?
So I'm just turning to the right page now. Here we go. There's so many secondaries in this book. It is chunky. So Brood Swarm is a battlefield supremacy secondary. At the end of your turn, score 1 victory point for each of the following conditions you satisfy, up to a maximum of 5 victory points. So the first one is you have more models in the battlefield than your opponent does. I think they might struggle against the guard scoring that one. You have more models within your opponent's deployment zone than your opponent does. You have more models within your deployment zone than your opponent does. You have more models in the battlefield that are within no man's land than your opponent does, and you get an extra one if all 4 of the previous points apply. So it's basically just become a Brood Swarm. Swarm everything.
Covered the
I love
table.
it. I love it so much.
It's pretty good. It might struggle a little bit in the deployment zone. Depends on how aggressively John plays those tanks for no man's land.
Yeah, like just that bullet point there, which is more models in your opponent's DZ. I know they can come in within like 6 inches or something like that with like a couple units if they only shoot. But there's still a lot of guardsmen bodies. I see at least 4 squads of guardsmen, 5 squads of guardsmen down instead of John's DZ right now. You're gonna put a lot of your own units out there if you want to score that 1 bullet point, which is only worth 1 victory point.
Mm-hmm.
That is rough.
So probably
But hey, you don't have to score 5 points every single battle run with that.
Like even if you're scoring 3
points.
points a turn, that's enough to kind of max that out there.
Oh yeah.
Something I noticed, Chris, that I really appreciate about Alex McDougall is the aggressive finger pointing when he's doing things, and hopefully they'll continue this game.
Yeah, it really helps us out rather than having to guess what's happening.
Well, I believe that Alex lives in the middle of nowhere, Canada, so I'm pretty sure you have to say that correctly, and it's what I appreciates about Sim is.
Sounding like the bad guy with the bomb pen and golden eye right there.
Absolutely.
Are people looking for a Big Drip Mac? Love the name. Looking forward to the Sisters game. We're going to switch back and forth between this one and the Sisters. Again, for us, the chance to see one of the best players playing New Imperial Guard with all of the buffs and all of the secondaries is a huge opportunity. But also Fred, quality Deathwatch player. I'm assuming playing his Army of Renown against Jesse's sisters. Jesse, of course, fresh off his BAO win and trying out some new stuff on his list to really maximize what he can out of this Nephilim pack.
Yeah. Looks like we're starting to have some units being put down here. We got Unit of Sisters up front in the cover there, ready to jump onto that objective. And I don't see anything down for the Deathwatch yet.
Looks like we have maybe a squad in that backfield there. Or is that just hanging out
I don't think they're actually put down because they're kind of just let out to dry. I think looking at the phone screen there, they're going through the ITC battle lab, just so setting up the secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if that app hasn't got the new secondaries yet, so they're having to like proxy in a couple of them just to get the what they want. So we'll have secondary information as soon as we can for you all for this game.
Pen and paper like nerds.
Ennis is going to be forcing us to use pen and paper scoring at Worlds, and I hate it already.
Well, on the plus side, Battlescribe was updated tonight. His chat was wonderful to let us know.
Hey,
so at least, at least we'll be able to make lists for the RTTs we have tomorrow.
Yeah, good old open source software. Just having them all putting in all the new points. Absolute champions. There's some pretty nasty shooting lanes going through the middle here on this board.
And from what I've been told is all of these rock structures are treated as ruins.
Yes.
But even then, still, that open.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, and I think the smaller rock clusters towards the middle of the board are forests. I think people have been running them as.
Mm-hmm.
So you will get some negatives, but I mean, there's still some very tasty line of sights going here. So whoever's got the bigger, better guns is going to love this.
If you're going to want to, and I don't have any kind of telestrator here, but any of those 3 middle objectives, if you want to hold those, you will be in line of sight of a gun.
Yep, and not that far away either. And the great thing, and the great thing about Deathwatch is that they have all those special issue ammunition, so they can forego doctrines to get that, I believe, on a unit by unit basis. And one of them is +6 range, if I'm not entirely mistaken. So that might come in handy. And they can stay outside of the similar multiplier coming back at them from the sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're doing our best here without sort of information about the lists. Turns out Chris has an amazing eye for what is being put down, so that's going to be hugely effective on what we're seeing here. But again, we're looking at Jesse, who's doing a experimental sisters list based off of his GT list, but using more of the Nephilim packet. And Fred's Deathwatch Army of Renown.
Maybe he just has a really big screen.
I do have a large monitor.
That's not what I meant, but also that, sure.
Yeah. And what we want to remind Fred here is the dangers of phones on screens. Make sure your notifications are turned off. Make sure that you don't have anything open that you don't want. Maybe he's watching Umbrella Academy on Netflix in his spare time, but laying phones down, stream tables, is not a pro gamer move.
That is certainly a risky tactic.
Actually, I would say that it's exclusively done by pro gamers.
Because other ones aren't on stream. Looks like we're setting up here. Let's move back here. We have Alex versus John. Alex looks like angrily knocking the thing, but checking out some threat ranges. What are you seeing here in this deployment, Chris?
So it's John's round 1 right now. Some secondary points have been scored already. So with the deployment, it looks like the guard are kind of trying to screen out the tanks as best they can. Although we do have one tank, which looks like a commander, because there's a guy on top, the orange one there, kind of out in the open, maybe trying to bait the GSC in a little bit. Oh, no, we're into the GSC turn. So sorry for that. So we're seeing some GSC bodies running up the field, some Gene Stealers maybe trying to take out some gardens, steal some objectives, try and keep John's primary score down, going further into this game. It also looks like John is primed and ready to screen out his corners as well. Just by shuffling around a couple of tanks, the entire backfield will be screened out, even off the shorter 6-inch range. So maybe only the if there's a unit with I think there's one unit that can get the 3-inch range deep strike, via points upgrade. So maybe they'll be able to sneak in somewhere, but we'll have to wait and see.
You have to sneak in front of a bunch of tanks. That will probably make very short work of it.
Yeah, time to charge tanks and hope that they can't shoot with their heavy bolters to get out of combat. So before those blast cannons start firing.
We are seeing, I think, some move blocking going on here, some early wise. If you look at that orange tank in the bottom and the way that's positioned, very hard to get through there. Same with the Grey Leam and Rust that Alex is measuring right now. Very hard to get through that. You'd have to assume the guard unit behind that ruin wall. I'm not sure they're playing WTC rules. It might be unchargeable too.
Yeah. It's typically quite difficult to actually stand behind a wall and make it unchargeable unless you're talking about big 50 mil Centurions charging through walls when the base might actually not fit. But typically the 32s and the 25s can find a space somewhere to get a couple guys in.
But less ideally than you'd want in there.
Yeah, but again, that's where playing by intent comes in and saying, yeah, this is technically possible. I'm not going to spend an hour of clock time setting it up.
I did ask the players; they are not using WTC rules.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. So absolutely trying to screen out some of those bigger, maybe, hopefully abominants. Maybe I don't know what G Sealers are going to have there to throw in. Obviously, the G Sealers themselves.
Yeah, I think we're seeing 2 5-man units of Gene Stealers currently right up in the guard face, and one model kind of hanging back. Don't know if that's a character or something.
You would hope so.
Oh, that might be the Calamorph or Sanctus sniper guy who can't be shot if he's 12 if you're outside of 12 inches. Yeah, there's some shooting and some scooting here. So I think that's a Calamorph.
Brother, you say shooting and scooting because
shooting
that's my new favorite phrase.
Yeah, shoot and scoot, maybe. Yes, that Calamorph just took some pot shots and now has scuttled back to within 3 inches of a friendly unit, so that he has now got the character protection.
Let's see here.
Clinton Hobbies over on Twitch says, Charity Hammer hype. The midnight shift rolls on. Absolutely, we are very hyped for these exhibition games done by some fantastic players, and hoping to raise some money for sick kids.
Like I said, and like, where else can you see these lists being tested? Because again, John, I think pretty excited about Imperial Guard coming in and being able to run it against someone like Alex, who's an extremely good cult and iterative player, is a really good stress test for this. And especially on Jesse on the other table, getting to test his sisters out. Some really good quality games here.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like we have a charge going on. They were lifting the building up there to measure the charge, get an accurate number. Going, which I absolutely love. I see time and time again players measuring over the building and then adding an inch or cutting an inch, and just lift the building. Just make it easy. Don't guess. So that charge was made, and the second charge here, that's been made as well. And maybe we're going to get a tag on that tank commander with these Gene Stealers once they've done munching some guard.
Hopefully, that definitely seems like the intent there on that.
Yeah. I would hazard a guess to say that those Gene Stealers who have been placed on top of the ruin are probably actually on the bottom floor, which is another common thing you see just to make things easier.
So yeah, you say you're doing that just in case people watching that don't know what that means. Well, what does that mean exactly?
So technically speaking, those gene stealers could fight down because it's 5 inches vertical, 1 inch out for the engagement range.
Mhm.
But players who are comfortable, and if they're comfortable in the matchup, will just say these guys are going to be on the bottom floor and then place them on top, just so that everyone knows where exactly they are, and you're not mistakenly thinking there's only 3 models there because 2 are hidden behind or under or something.
Right.
So players who have been around will typically do behavior like that, and they will measure from the bottom floor directly down underneath the model for all purposes of movement and whatnot. But yeah, so I reckon we're going to see a tank commander or some guard being tied up by these gene seeders, because gene seeders should make short work of guard.
Yeah, so especially like you're right. I think those gene stealers are going to wipe out that guard squad. Hopefully, unless there's a lot of whiffs, with the idea that you can hopefully move forward enough to tag that tank commander to stop his shooting effectiveness.
Yeah, because the tank commander will be able to shoot. It looks like some heavy ball responses, but we're not sure what level of WYSIWYG we're going to be having here, because the players brought models with them, not knowing what they were playing, because they hadn't written this yet. So if that tank commander's got, let's say, 3 heavy bolters or even some heavy flamers, would probably be better. Those guns can still shoot, and if John's able to clear out those 5 gene seeders, that battle cannon can then come down to bear on a different target.
The
How
Gene Stealers
important
rolled
is-
9 ones.
To wound?
Yes.
9
So
ones
we
to
just-
wound.
Yeah, we just got told that gene stealers rolled 9 ones to wound. Not ideal. It's
All right, boys, fix bayonets. Let's go.
most likely not being able to wholly tag as much as you wanted to there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, there are ways where you can put the models in there and move them in such a manner where that you can have one guy who's kind of like double stacked and 0.1 inch away from being in engagement range of that tank commander. So if things like that happen, he can still swing round in the pile-in and or consolidation. So you can build in contingencies to tag things. Oh, it's the GSCs up at the top that absolutely fluffed it.
Yeah.
There we go. But yes, you can build in contingencies into your shenanigans, so that if you do roll 9 ones, which can happen, as we just saw.
Very sad times. I mean, that's I think the second game on this table that we've seen tonight, where the dice just absolutely red, and
So it's just this table then. This table was cursed.
yeah, it's pumped by ones. This is all that's going on in this table.
See, well, the issue is that the mat isn't filled with lava, so the dice can't get hot. So the dice are currently cold.
That's right. It's because you can recognize the models in this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably finish up this combat phase here with Alex's attempt to remove some of these screens, make some space for his deep strikers, and hopefully check out Jesse and Fred's game or deployment phase, maybe.
Looks like we have John doing some counter punching back, or some saves maybe.
Which, it's never a good sign when the guard are getting saves. Their armor is not contemptuous at all.
Not in the infantry. Oh man, could you imagine if infantry did get the armor of Contempt Rule? I'm sure it'll make some difference.
We were talking about this before the game started, about how Games Workshop just seems to want to buff and buff and buff and buff guard, but only in ways that aren't actually super helpful to guard. But that's certainly one of them. Over here, yeah, it looks like we're deploying some stuff. What do your eagle eyes see here, Chris?
Models. I see models.
Beautiful.
So it looks like you got a whole bunch of Death Company kill teams, and I think I see the chaplain on bike in the middle of that central castle there. And up at the top, we see more of Death Company just kind of saying, I don't want to deal with any of this. And making sure that they're far away from the Sisters of Battle. The Sisters of Battle are probably rocking in some heavy bolters or multi-melters somewhere in the list. Maybe there's some of the retributors, the girls with the heavy weapons running around, and that could do some damage if it's multi-melters. Meanwhile, for the sisters, we have lots of hugging cover, but also they're not really hiding. Although Jessie is using the mid-board line of sight blocking terrain to their advantage to kind of mitigate some of the line of sight issues that
awesome.
might be had.
Just checking with the table boss here. Some requests from chat here. We have a bunch of really cool lists going on here. Would it be possible to figure out what Jesse's updated sisters list is?
I will have him send it to me. I'm on it right now.
Perfect. All right. So Vic, we're gonna have that list sent into a chat so we can put that in there, and kind of let everyone know what he's got. That'll also help us out in figuring out what's there. Question for you here while we're waiting for that, Chris. Question of the day. What is the best dice roll you've ever seen in person? I.e., need to make 14 4+ saves to survive in making all of them.
Oof. So the best one I've ever the best one I've ever done personally is actually a TTS game. So this is in the depths of lockdown, and I had a friend throw into my Archon a unit of Blood Angel Assault Intercessors in the Assault Doctrine, so getting all the attacks in the world, and I had like 32 saves to make, and I made 31 2-ups. It was hilarious.
I've done a similar thing with an Archon, but the important thing is you roll them one at a time, obviously, because you can't.
Oh yeah.
But you don't look at the dice, and you maintain eye contact, and that's how you figure out if your dice worked.
Also, I think it's just a scientific fact that you roll better when you roll one at a time. I mean, at least I always seem to do. Although I did also once had, so again on Drakari, I had a succubus who failed a charge because of the Tanglefoot grenade stratagem from Custodes. So she was out left hanging to dry. It was a unit of Hurricane Bolter bikes came out and shot her with all their bolter shells, and she died to the wound exactly after taking 29 saves. So that was a lot of 4-ups there, but I couldn't quite. I couldn't quite get it. I even CP rerolled one, couldn't quite get it.
And then I'll teach in. A lot of people asking for lists here for these 4 games because we have 4 really cool looking lists. We are working on getting that out here so we can know, so you can know what some of the top players are playing in the new Warzone Nephilim Grand Tournament packet coming out here. Because lots of big changes coming here. Lots of secondaries that you can now take. Lots of updates. A lot of changing. We had John Lennon playing a bunch of Lehman Russ tanks. That's how much the meta has shifted, hopefully, with these updates.
Speaking of tanks, we have a Rhino down in the middle, so there may be some Dominion in there, right? Pre-game move that Rhino up.
I was going to say,
first turn roll off.
We might not have lists, but we know that Rhino's going to be moving forward and then unloading a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, like we understand how the game works.
I can tell you the Rhino has a nice plasma center.
We're told, that the Rhino has a chewy plasma center.
That's my favorite kind of center, particularly when it overcharges.
Just don't roll once. That's how it works.
Yeah, just don't roll 9 once.
Yeah, poor Alex did.
Yeah, so it was like the Deathwatch have won the roll off and are going first in this game. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think Deathwatch wanted to go first here, or would they rather have gone second?
I honestly think, the Deathwatch, the way it's set up, wants to go second. Especially kind of the way the table is set up here. He wants to have those sisters get up and get into position. As we mentioned before, those objectives, and we're playing the Scouring here, guys. Those objectives real exposed, so they want to get those firing lanes that their doctrines and their special ammo can really take advantage of. What was your thoughts on that, Chris?
Well, I think the Deathwatch were definitely vying for that, for going second. Obviously, they have very little control over when they actually go first or second. The thing is though that with the Army of Renown, again working on the assumption that this is the Army of Renown, they can just go into White Scars and suddenly be in sisters' faces so freaking fast.
Mhm.
So what I reckon we're going to see is we're going to see some cautious movements up the board, kind of getting within ranges where they can start to cover the central point of some of these objectives with a comfortable White Scars turn to charge going on, and just being ready to hit that switch. So definitely going to see some moving up of the Death Watch here, but cautiously so, respecting the threat ranges of any multi-meltas or non-damage suit shooting or anything of that kind of ilk.
Yeah, and then Chris, I don't know if you're going to check the general chat area here. John Lennon has posted his Imperial Guard list, trying to get a
Wonderful.
hold of other people's. So if you, yeah,
Shall we
take a
swap
peruse.
to-
Yeah, let's
let's swap over to the other game, as the Guard versus GSC game, if we can, Tech Priest, and just want to talk through this list. So John and Lennon's list, we're going to have Creed, Company Commander, Primar Psyker with Night Shroud and Barrier, 3 units of infantry squads. Then we're going to have 3 command squads with 4 plasma guns each. Knight Commander Pass with a heavy bolter, plasma, and demolisher. A tank commander with a demolisher, plasma, and heavy bolter. 2 units of infantry, an Ashpath with barrier, a wyvern, and 2 chimeras, and then 3 Lehman Ross demolishers and manticores with full payload. So that's a lot of tank, a lot of chaff to get through. You got 50 guards and models before you get into anything juicy, and those command squads, they probably going to come in from reserve and light up a target of choice with their plasma guns, and try and do some damage that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably
and we also
by a company commander to give them some orders.
Yeah, and we also got Alex's Genestealer cult list that he's playing here. He is running a Myriad cult with Industrial Affinity, Toxin Agents, and War Convoy. He's running a Patriarch with Mass Hypnosis, Might from Beyond, and carrying the Unwilling Orb. That's his Warlord. He also has a Primus. We have some hybrids. We have 5 with auto pistols, 5 blasting charges, all this fun stuff here. Lots of heavy rock cutters. That might help with the tanks here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 heavy rock cutters. Heavy rock cutters in that squad there. We have a hybrid squad, which looks to be bare bones. 2 of those guys. We have another hybrid squad, which is so we have 2 5-man hybrid squads. We have a 10-man with 2 seismic cannons. We have another 10-man with 2 seismic cannons and another 10-man with 2 seismic cannons. It's almost like you knew he was coming up against tanks. Then we have a Keller Morph who has the Worm Tooth Rounds relic. We have the Pure Strain Gene Stealers squad 5-man, 2 5-man Pure Strains, and then 3 Rock Grinders, 3 Goliath Trucks. And then we have a Patrol. This man hates command points, can't stand them. Wants another Patriarch who has Psionic Blast and Psychic Stimulus. We have another bunch of Rock Cutters. We have more hybrids and another Keller Morph. So really spec'd up to anti-tank here.
That is a lot of anti-tank. But this is a stress test game, right? Let's see how much the armor attempt helps and even Russ. I'm going to just quickly look up the profile of those rock drills because I know they're nasty, but I don't know how nasty.
Yeah, Bubble Hurts, the feed where people are talking to. This is a combined feed, so we're jumping between games right now. We're just talking about the lists we have access to, which right now is just sent by John Lennon and little Alexander McDougall. So we just went through the list for the other table to keep it as confusing as possible. When we get Fred's list, Jesse's list, we will switch to the Lennon game so we can make sure to continue on as we've started here.
Yeah. Those rock drills, for people who do not know, they are ×2 strength, so they'll be strength 8, -4, and damage 1. But they have a special rule. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, that attack automatically wounds a target and on an unmodified 6 roll, a hit roll of a 6, the target suffers 2 mortal wounds in addition to any normal damage. So that's a lot of AP4 and a lot of mortal wound potential as well.
A lot of I don't care so much about your Armor of Contempt.
Yep.
Just again, forcing lots of dice.
Speaking of lots of dice, we have John rolling some shots here with the Imperial Guard. Looks like those GSE, those Gene Stealers have been killed from his deployment zone, and he's regained control of the board, and maybe some damage going on to that character. Now he's the closest target to that Laban Russ.
So Jesse's list has been uploaded into the messenger chat for hosts, and
Beautiful.
Fred's list is unchanged from the tournament. So if we can find that.
Yeah, so we just found out Fred is running his GT list, getting as many games as possible with a very good list. We also just got the sisters list that Jesse is running, which I'm putting into the Discord for you here, Chris, so you can go over that. Unless you can find it in the other one.
I'm not in that messenger chat, so
that's what I figured. So yeah, we're gonna throw it in the other one here. We had 2 seconds. Discord, you're wonderful, but you're very unorganized. Wonderful. Just threw that list in. We finally kind of figure out, and as promised, talking about the list for the wrong table, just to continue the confusion.
Absolutely. So we're running Bloody Rose Sisters. We have I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these names. Hospital, the Heedy person, Canoness, who's got the A Blessed Blade Inferno Pistol, Chaplet of Sacrifice, and Blazing Ire with Word of the Emperor. Those two are terms I do not understand. Celestine and Gemini Superior, and Morven Vow, so I had to have Anti-Vow in there, who's a warlord. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Battle Sister squads with chainswords on the sergeants. A Dogmata with the Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude. 3 Paragon Warsuits with Stormbolters, Multi-Melta, and Warblades. Then we've got a unit of 5 Repentia, a unit of 9 Repentia, a unit of 5 Sephirim, so that's the girls with the pistols, and they got the flamers, so they can drop in and shoot and clear for people to drop in further past them. Then they got some Zephyrim with the pendants, with his Zephyrim penance, which I think rerolls charges or something like that. Then you got a unit of modifiers in there, just 2 of them, and a unit of Retributor's with Multi-Melta and a Cherub, and they're probably sitting quite happily in the Rhino. So lots of fighting in this list for Bloody Rose. That's gonna bring some damage. Yeah, if that unit of 9 Repentia make contact with something, it's gonna hurt the Death Watch. Like,
it will no longer be a thing.
You will feel it in the morning, and then you'll feel it in the next morning after that.
Looking at the table right now, John's moved Lehman Russ up to hold that top objective. Looks like Gene Stealers after whiffing. We have John holding that bottom objective as well there, as well as his home one. What's Alex got to do here to kind of take some of those away, apart from obviously just destroying tanks?
Well, obviously he needs to destroy some tanks. I think the GSEs we need to play cagey here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of OBSEC on the 2 forward objectives for John's side of things. So again, just keep leveraging the fact that you have cheap OBSEC units and just keep on trucking. It's that kind of game where you're going to throw units into the meat grinder that is the Imperial Guard army, and they'll probably last about as long as an average guardsman.
Gonna send wave after wave of his own men against him.
Yes, we have casualties in the millions. What a successful victory! I think there's a back library book which is just the life of an average guardsman in like 20 minutes, and or 20 hours, and I need to read that book. That's on my list. It sounds absolutely incredible.
Very good. I believe it's called 8 hours or 16 hours or something like that. Bubble Hearts, it is streaming on 4 channels right now. It is all the same stream going across them. So no
Yep.
separate games. We're having small tech issues. So rather than variety, you get us. But yeah, got to hit that kill limit for the Gene Stealer Cup. They don't ascend until they've killed enough. 14 hours, Tornby Mag. Thank you, chat.
There we go.
Letting us know. That's the best book.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get that and listen to it whilst I paint models or something like that.
Crazy. An insane man. No one has done that before.
Yeah.
Before we kind of move on here, guys, the reason we're here is we're raising money for a charity called Child's Play. Child's Play is a game industry charity dedicated to improving the lives of children and teens in children's hospitals around the world. They have 180 different children's hospitals worldwide, as well as nearly 200 domestic violence shelters across the United States. What Child's Play does is they use the money raised to purchase games, video game consoles, and other entertainment to really help make some people's worst times even like a little bit better. Every penny you donate to Child's Play at charityhammer.com goes directly to the cause. No money is taken by any of the players you're watching, commentators you're listening to, or even hosts Colin of the Best in Table Tech Network, who's hosting this. Everything goes right to charity, goes right to Child's Play even, to make sure that the kids are getting as much entertainment as possible in difficult times. For every $30 donated, you get a raffle ticket, which will be drawn throughout the event. There's a ton of great prizes. You don't like painting, just win a commission painted army from Sean Naden, Captain of Team America. You don't say want to buy an army, or you can win $1,200 of store credit with Hammerhead Games. As of tomorrow, you will be able to make your pick'em predictions for the top 8 bracket of the hardest GAT. Winner of that gets a Chaos Knight box. And let me tell you, I don't want to see another War Dog in my life after painting 14 of them, but it's a beautiful kit. And you could win that simply by predicting the correct bracket. All right, shilling gone. Now go ahead.
Yes, donate if you can. We're swapped back to the Sisters versus Death
Other
Watch game.
stream is
Yeah, the Death Watch.
chugging a bit right now, so we're going to give it a chance to maybe catch up with whatever's going on there. So,
No worries. Thank you very much, Tech Priests. That's Tech Priest Mitch, if I guess correctly. So yes, the Death Watch have moved on up just to probably tease in those threat ranges a little bit. Say to Jesse, if you want to get onto the table in any meaningful manner, you have to go through my army.
Looks like the top squad's towed into the ruin. If you guys don't know, the lava rocks all over the place, those count as ruins. So definitely making beneficial use of that terrain there.
Yeah, lots of cover saves going around. Do you think the Sisters are going to have a hard time chewing through this Deathwatch army if they do go White Scars next turn and just present them with all these Marine bodies?
You know, I think honestly, I don't think Fred's army has a lot of AP, and when Sisters have an Armor of Contempt as well, I think this almost comes down to a dice off, where Fred can move into White Scars and cause issues that way, as you yourself well know. But do Sisters have the weight of dice to just kind of take care of it?
I think I'm not sure exactly where the upgrades are, if it's all just heavy thunder hammers or if there's some like lightning claw sergeants, because lightning claw sergeants would do work in Sisters. They're only 1 wound each. You're wounding on 3s, re-rolling everything. So maybe that's how they're planning on chugging through the Sisters, with some Bolter Fire going on the way in if you have any assault bolters somewhere. But I think the Sisters, looking through their list, they've got a lot of good AP melee. You've got the Repenser, you've got the Zephyrim, you've got the Paragon Warsuit, Celestine Antival, and the Mortifiers. They will do some damage into those bodies. So it's all about who has better impact threat and who can dictate the terms of engagement. which is going to definitely be
Fred's
interesting.
being pretty cagey with it so far here. He hasn't overextended himself, still pretty much into his zone, not trying to grab too many. Again, with the scouring, I believe it's still hold 2, hold 3, hold more.
Yes, it is still hold 2, hold 3, hold more, and you
The
get,
worst.
and it's just, and there you got the action which you can scan each objective once, and you get points for the tertiary. Looking at I think the Miracle Dice pile for Sisters, I think I can see through the stream here we have a 3 and I'm going to say a 6 or a 5 on Miracle Dice for Sisters. That could help with charges, particularly with some Zephyr moving 12 inches. The gap between the two armies was only 24 inches to begin with. Those bikers are probably around the I want to say 18-inch mark away. So if you use that 5 or 6 on a charge, you're pretty much guaranteed to get in with some Zephyr if that's what you want to do. And yep, we have some Zephyr moving up now in a pretty aggressive manner.
Yeah, good call on that one there. Yeah, because that's definitely a gap that they can make with those Miracle Dice. Those folks, those objectives in the scouring. Another reason the scouring is such a divisive mission. All of these objectives are really close together. So even grabbing one in your own zone will result in you being in threat range of a lot of stuff.
For sure. And if you're the melee army in this mission, you're definitely going to be having a good time because everything is within decent charge range of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sisters have that advantage of the Miracle Dice where they can just say, I choose to make this charge now. Thank you very much. I think we have a character moving up there as well. Nope, this is some more Zephyrim, or no, that's Celestine actually. So you got Celestine moving up as well to meet the Death Watch bikers here.
Which you kind of have to, because if you look at the way Fred's spread out here, a lot of his threat is in that bottom left-hand corner. And the Sisters that are moving out are huge threats of that area.
Yeah. And you're going to have Anti-Val and her Paragon war suits moving on up as well to probably pressure more towards the center. And those Paragon war suits are tough to kill.
Yeah. Jesse just pointing out things that he wants dead, I would assume.
Yeah.
No, that one.
Yeah, that one guy there. That one guy there. Yeah, the guy with the heavy thunder hammer.
We didn't have face cams for this, but during Fred was on the last slot here, he whiffed 80% of the wound rolls for his heavy thunder hammer into Tyranid Warriors. And I would assume his face went as white as Jesse's shirt there. Which is a bold choice.
It was Leviathan Tyranid Warriors, wasn't it, to be fair? So still winning on fours. Yeah.
But yeah.
Winning on fours is a rough one for Thunderhammered. So we're seeing some more shuffling here from the Sisters. It looks like Jesse's trying to screen out his backfield. Maybe there's a squad in the Teleportarium for the Death Watch.
Possibly. Again, it's let's see. Let me see if I can pull up Jesse or Fred's Death Watch list cover. Retribution 83. We're trying to make player mics work. Might not be a thing. You might just have to put up with our dulcet tones trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah. Bubble Horse is asking, is there any way to see how much has been donated so far? I'm going to pass that question over to Tech Priest Mitch and see if he can give an updated count.
I'll raise you one Mitch and go to me. Currently, you're sitting at $11,322.77, which is an incredible number.
Hey, that's cool.
Again, 100% of that going directly to Child's Play. So thank you everyone who has donated so far.
So the Mortifiers and some Sisters have moved up to take control of that objective in the top right corner. The Rhino still hasn't moved up on yet. So I don't think we're going to see an overly aggressive play from the Rhino. If the Rhino moves up too far, the Rhino could find itself getting wrapped and trapped and making it a pain to disembark from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these guys playing pretty cagey, not wanting to get involved in the meat grinder in the center there.
Yeah.
Speaking of meat grinders, table boss, how's Mr. Lennon versus Mr. McDougal going? It looks like some frenzied McDougal dice rolling. What do you see here, table state wise, Chris?
So we see some acolytes of some description popped out of a transport, run on up, and I see the ultra friendly silhouette of some heavy rock drills getting ready to charge into that tank commander, and hopefully that tank commander has some crossfire tokens put in it. Otherwise, that tank commander might just overwatch with the 5+ overwatch stratagem. So the GSC do need to be careful and shut down that overwatch before it begins. Coming further down the board, we see, I think, the patriarch, or I think that's the right term, the big daddy of the GSC, coming in to charge the Chimera, who is sitting in the middle of the table, threatening as a Chimera can be, and I don't see any shenanigans happening down in the bottom two objectives, outside of some trucks moving on up to load their firepower somewhere.
The rock grinder kind of trying to move up in the bottom, little Goliath in there. I will say we do know as well, John incorrectly had his secondary listed before as special orders. It's actually by lasgun and bayonet, which is 1 victory point each time an enemy unit that started the turn within range of an objective marker is destroyed by one of your units. Which again, it's just points for doing what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Which I think is a common theme for these new guard secondaries.
The guard need the help. They really do need the help until the book comes out. And I mean, this is why they took Stranglehold out. They were saying Stranglehold is just playing the game and scoring points for playing the game. And but now factions like guard need the help, so they'll give it to them. Retribution 83 on YouTube. Ooh, daddy. Yes, the GNC daddy's coming after. Yeah, this is where you get to have like post coffee Chris. Now, like the caffeine's in my system. It's only going to get madder and madder throughout the day, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Of course, you're getting Chris. What looks to be like 8:30 in the morning his time, 9:30 in the morning his time. You get me 12:30 at night my time. The only reason I know that, of course, my beautiful parents over in Scotland let me know I never call them enough, so I'm very aware of the time over there mostly.
Yep. And Daddy has made
that's
charge.
the only effective way to not call them is to be aware of the time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, to be lazy. But yeah, Claw Daddy.
Claw Daddy. Welcome to the madness of the night shift of Charity Hammer, where the points are made up and the scores don't matter.
Well, I had run with Alex's original nickname that he'd given himself, which was Canadian Bronze after his 4th place LVO showing this year. But I think Claw Daddy is even better, and some White Claw inspired shirt is in his future.
Yeah, absolutely. Sindri Tepek over on YouTube says it is 4:19 here in Atlanta. Oh, that is early.
That is early. I think that's
one of the two.
That is the worst of our worlds. Like, staying up late is one thing. Getting up on time is another. But being like 4 a.m., nothing good happens after 4 a.m.
Yeah. So it looks like those acolytes with those heavy rock drills have made contact with that Leaving Russ and should do some good work in getting through that armor with those mortal wound output as well.
To be fair, though, Alex did roll 9 ones to wound with Gene Stealer.
That is very true. Hopefully not 9 ones, because all the rock drills need to do is hit.
There are.
Ah. Oh no, I see some wind rolling going on here, so that is
So at
that
least
is
four
the rock
got
drills.
through. Lots of damage there in that Lehman Russ. Looks like the Russ is down to 10 wounds as is.
Oh, now
Take
down to
6.
4.
Yep. Down to 4. Armor of Contempt, useless against rock drills. It looks like we're going again. As DJ Khaled famously says, another one. Or is this is just a slub test? He's just slapping the tank now.
So here's a theory for you. With
Okay.
these guard secondaries, and with the new armor contempt warranted even Russes, do you reckon that the guard full tank army is now a thing? Do you reckon we're going to see, like, here's a Bane Blade and a bunch of Demon Russes, and maybe some Scout Sentinels, where all the Demon Russes become OPSEC?
I mean, it's the same thing we're seeing with the Ward Dog list, right? Where we're taking like 12 to 14 Ward Dogs, where it's a great meme. It's going to catch people out the first month or so. But ultimately, it would be like a gatekeeper kind of stat checklist of, can you take care of a bunch of heavy armor? No, you're probably going to lose. Yes, you're probably going to win. Armor of Contempt is great on these tanks, and it does a lot for it, especially with the 2-up saves that they have. But it doesn't kind of take away a lot of the existing problems Guard have. I think what we're going to see is we're going to be shifting to a vehicle or high toughness meta, especially with Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, the guard changes. So we're going to see everyone else adapt around that and expect to see those things. So maybe for the next couple of weeks after that, it's going to stabilize to being just good old guard.
Oh yeah. I had a friend at a GT run that pureness, that the big tank and the little tanks and everything. I'm blanking on the names, and they had a horrible day one. But then on where they only got 1 win. But on day 2, they ran into 3 Chaos players in a row. That Vengeance Vercadia stratagem did work. Those on day 2, so they were loving it and finished 4-2 with full tank guard. But this before all the buffs came out. So it looks like that Demon Ross is going to be alive on 2 wounds, but there are troops in that objective for the GSE again, cutting into Don's primary here. But I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because John's still going to hold 2 objectives, and this is hold 1, hold 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're doing the first mission from the new pack here, which is hold 1, hold 2, hold more. I think it will allow Alex to hold more, so maybe denying 4 points for John. But if he's just steadily scoring 8 points a turn, I think he's laughing.
I don't imagine the GSE who are currently on that objective in common with the Leaving Russ are long for this world. So I don't think it's actually going to be that much of a swing. I think that play was more to try and take out that Leaving Russ. And as is on 2 health, it won't be that effective. But Guard do have a 1 CP stratagem to heal 1 wound back. Does that do anything? Does that get them over a wound bracket?
Not
No,
at
it
2,
doesn't.
I don't think. No,
it doesn't. You need to get into 4, so probably not worthwhile using that stratagem there. Maybe just
the
falling back and
the progressive objective in this mission, Breaking Body and Soul, is you get 1 victory point to a maximum of 3 for each enemy unit that was destroyed at the battle round. So not being able to finish off that Lehman Russ hurts Alex a
or
lot.
that Chimera.
Yeah. Alex and Dice, mortal enemies today. Used to have, like, was that Chimera? Is that just hanging out in a forest over there?
Looks like John is disembarking from that Chimera with some guardsmen ready to be a nuisance and try and mess with the GSE primary.
Try and move on to the objective there, you're thinking?
Are
we looking
I think it's probably going to be an advanced role, to be honest with you. I don't see an officer nearby. And I don't think we saw any Vox casters for the guard.
They haven't received that buff of Vox casters, are just free now.
At least it wasn't on the list, so I'm not sure.
No. It's on there to do as they continually buff
Yeah.
card in ways for
Yeah.
we keep
We aren't
buffing it
selling
and nothing's
broadcasters.
happening.
Oh, this could be some command squads coming down. Actually, lots of 4-man units with the
Mhm.
plasma,
Oh yeah, some plasma bomb.
and
You're
also
right.
doing some nice move blocking as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's what was in that Chimera there, giving you some reliable targets of choice. Because I think the Chimera can transport 12 models for guard. I will check. Yep, 12 models, so 3 squads of plasma guys. That's a lot of plasma.
That's a gross load. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. How is Jesse versus Fred moving on just as we're finishing up the movement phase here? Maybe check in on that one real quick as John's doing some measurement.
We'll have to wait till our Servo Skull flies over that table. Having flashbacks of the Dawn of War Servo Skull noise now.
Oh,
The little
no.
trilling.
Too much.
Too real, man. Too real.
Too real. John moving that Lehman Russ up to try and knock off some shots in that Goliath there.
Oh, maybe not. This one instead. This one looks nicer.
Yeah. Well, I think looking at it, it's just a little out of range of possibly some of the Sponson guns.
Yes.
From that middle one there.
And I'm sure the Wyverns, I think John's running. I'll just double check.
Mm-hmm.
The Wyverns. Yep, here's one Wyvern. We'll make short work of the infantry that is standing right in front of the Wyvern very helpfully. So no needed to go through outlines head shooting nonsense.
No. And that Lehman Russ just probably putting the reverse light on and beeping out of there so it can just shoot it.
And also helpfully providing a little bit of screening for the 2 Lehman Russes behind it.
Mm-hmm. John being very protective of his home objective and his own deployment zone. Of course, recover the relics. You only get your Battleforge CP if you hold your own objective or one or more objective in your opponent's territory. So being very cagey around making sure that he gets that source of CP. Which is why it looks like John's tanks in the top right, like someone's trying to leave a Metallica concert.
Yeah. In this mission, you really have to hold on to the objectives in no man's territory and beyond, because you're just not going to get your CP. And before it was okay because you would only lose 1. So the armies without forward deploy would only lose 1 CP. Now you lose 2, which is huge. So if your codex has a way of pre-game moving out or forward deploying, take it just for this mission. If it's in the whatever rules pack you're going to be playing under.
And let me share some secrets. TOs are lazy. A lot of times you're going to do a mission 11, 12, 13, or 11, 22, and 33. But a high chance this mission will come up.
Yep. It's also just a very simple mission. Not that complicated. Just go kill things. So it's a TO's favorite to do kind of as kind of a round 3 mission, or the start of it, or the start of the event, or maybe even to finish. When people are
Relic
getting
of Lost Cadia has been used.
Woo! Time to re-roll.
Of course, just in case you can't hear there, Relic of Lost Cadia has been used. Rerolls coming your way. John wanted to make sure that the things die.
Yep, this is the guard go turn. The underpants of some Lost Commander on Cadia has been unveiled, and everyone's feeling very good about that.
Well, if you're looking at the new guard model range, it's just a shitty coat was saved from Cadia, and everyone's really happy about it. inspiring them to reroll everything. But it will be
Yep.
super helpful for John to pop some of these transports and get rid of some of this infantry.
I'm just imagining some guardian running out like, no, I've got a jar of dirt. And everyone, that's awesome. Good work. Keep
Just a
firing.
command squad with this plasma gun that keeps overheating. It's like, but the dirt's near.
Yeah, but the dirt says hit better.
Just images of that scene in the Avengers when he was like, those trading cards weren't in his pocket, they were in his locker. And he was like, they don't need to know that. That dirt is in Cadia.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a very suspect hole behind the company commander who's holding it up.
He's holding an urn and a shovel.
Oh, but he did a month of Death Corps of Krieg, so it's fine. He carries a shovel with him everywhere.
Man.
If I ever play God, I need to 3D print that like a guy holding a jar of dirt out now. Just have some way of doing it.
Just use the texture paint to dig a little hole in the base. Oh man.
Exactly, yeah.
That's your company commander right there.
Yeah, it's like this guy's American Lost Cadia.
Someone get the Elegoo going on that.
Yeah, maybe like there's like a wee like lost and found box behind him.
And I think we're moving on to Alex's roll a lot of sixes phase.
Yeah.
Good.
We're gonna swap on over to the other game.
Yeah,
Awesome.
well, John is rolling all of his dice and re-rolling all of his dice. We're going to move over to Jesse versus Fred, see where we're at there. What are we seeing here, Chris?
I'm trying to see if there's any less Deathwatch run, and I think there's definitely a few less Deathwatch.
Not
But
as many as
sisters
we thought.
have made it into combat though. So
there's
Zephyr
about
and
to be.
Celestine.
There's about to be a lot less Deathwatch down there, but
Yeah.
into the bikes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Fred is running the relic of the Invan aura that they have.
Mhm.
So that might help keep those bikers alive if the chaining back is possible to wherever
Okay.
that guy might be. But yeah, it's still going to hurt either way.
Yeah.
So I think she does mortals, doesn't she?
I believe so. Let me try and pull up. Here we go. Charity Hammer GT list, because Fred is just running his GT list in this friendly game.
Yeah, the Ardent Blade for Celestine. So she'll get 6 attacks, hitting on 2s at strength, 7 AP 4 damage 2. But if it's a 6 to hit, that dice does 2 mortal wounds and the sequence ends, which will be nasty for the Deathwatch.
For sure. And Deathwatch, starting with 3 CP, it's the Army of Renown. You have the Primaris Chaplain on bike, who's a wise orator. He has the Beacon and Angelus, Recitation of Focus, Litany of Hate, and Canticle of Hate. We have a Captain with a jump pack. He has the Xenophase Blade and a master-crafted bolt gun. We have 5 Heavy Intercessors, 5 Hellstorm, 5 Aggressors with Bolt Storm, and then Aquila. We have 5 Infiltrators. We have 5 Vets with bolt guns and chain swords, 4 bikes, 4 power swords, 1 Vanguard Vet jump pack, a Dominus, and we have 5 Vets with bolt gun and chain sword, 5 Vanguard Vet jump packs, 3 Lightning Claws and Storm Shields, 2 Heavy Thunder Hammers in the Dominus. We have 5 Vets, Sarge with a Heavy Thunder Hammer, 3 Storm Shields and bolt guns, 1 Chainsword and bolt gun, Black Shield, Thunder Hammer, Chainsword, 1 Terminator, 2 Lightning Claw, 2 Vanguard Vets with jump packs and Heavy Thunder Hammers, and a Bike Champion. We have 5 Vets, Sergeant with a Heavy Thunder Hammer, 3 Storm Shields, 1 Chainsword, a Black Shield with a Thunder Hammer, and a Chainsword. I'm sorry, I'm trying to guess through Fred's shorthand here on 2 in the morning. 1 Terminator with 2 Lightning Claws, 2 Vanguard Vets with jump packs and Heavy Thunder Hammers, and a Bike Champion. This list seems to be heavy Thunder Hammer, the list. If he rolls fours, it's going to go great. If he doesn't, it might not be fantastic.
Speaking of rolling fours and things not going great, a bunch of bikers have just died because, as we heard in that list read through, there is no relic storm shield to give out the invuln. So Celestine happily cutting through some Space Marines here.
Yeah. We're seeing here Jesse taking all of the sisters secondaries, which is one of the things out in Pelham, which makes sisters great. Fred, Shock Tactics, popular one for him. Cripple Stronghold, and Assassinate.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly look up Cripple Stronghold, but I have no idea what it does.
Well, it's Cripple Stronghold. I'm going to assume that's a typo.
The Stronghold.
The Stronghold.
Deathwatch. Cripple Stronghold. This is a long one. I'm going to read it and then summarize because I'm not reading out an entire page.
No, that's something I would do because I didn't want to summarize. But regardless, sisters doing what sisters do best and just removing models, clearing off that bottom objective. This is Stranglehold, hold 2, hold 3, hold more. Right now, it looks like Jesse's holding 3 and more. So Fred has to kind of make some movement here, play some aggression to kind of get some more objectives back.
Okay, so Cripple Stronghold. Basically, you need to tell your opponents to pick one of the objectives that is not in their deployment zone, and that becomes their stronghold for the game. And when your Deathwatch infantry units are on that stronghold, you can attempt an action which starts at the end of your movement phase if you're within range of the stronghold objective marker, and you hold it, and it will finish at the end of your turn. Each time you finish that action, you score 4 victory points, and then you roll 1d6. On a 6, your opponent loses 1 command point. So you can mess with their command points here, which is quite nice to see.
That's a real interesting one to take on Stranglehold. Stranglehold then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Because if I'm Jesse, I mean, I'm going to take... Do you want to take a guess at which one Jesse took as the one?
I'm going to say bottom...
Top right or bottom right?
I'm going to say bottom right.
But yeah, definitely in the scouring, there aren't any objectives in your deployment zone. So that gives your opponent basically the ability to dictate where the army is.
Yeah.
Looking at how Fred deployed and how Jesse is kind of circled around that bottom right objective, Chris, I think you're right in saying that is the Stranglehold one. That might be a mistake into this.
I do not like that secondary at all. I think the only missions that could really kind of work would be maybe as mission like Death and Zeal or Priority Targets.
Mm-hmm.
Vital Intelligence, it would be horrible because typically you commit to a flank.
Right, for sure.
Not Data Sky Salvage, not Vital Intelligence. I'm talking old seasons here. That is not a good secondary choice. I do not like that at all.
Especially
but maybe Fred's just trying it because these things just came out.
Again, these are all friendly games. These are not GT games, but this is Jesse trying to kind of a slightly different list now that he can pick freely from the secondaries. Fred getting some more practice in with this GT list here. Checking out maybe some of those secondaries that you wouldn't take before. Yep. And again, these games are all being played for a specific reason. That reason would be charity. Everyone's coming together here to raise money. It's called Charity Hammer. Not a beat list hammer. Though sometimes those two things are not mutually exclusive. Guys, we're trying to raise money here for Child's Play. Child's Play partners with over 180 children's hospitals worldwide, as well as nearly 200 domestic violence shelters across the United States, in order to provide entertainment and games to help kids and others through some of the most difficult times in their lives. It started when Mike and Jerry from Penny Arcade saw how video games were portrayed negatively by the media and challenged their fans to help support Seattle Children's Hospital. They set up an Amazon wishlist, and within a month, they raised over $250,000 in cash and toys for that hospital, so they just kind of kept it going. Guys, 100% of what is donated to Child's Play over this weekend goes directly to Child's Play, and as a thank you For every $30 that you donate, you get a raffle ticket for the ability to win one of a lot of amazing prizes. We have $1,200 of store credit with Hammerhead Games. We have a fully commission painting job for a 2,000-point army from Sean Naden, who is an amazing painter. Model sets. And if you are the biggest single donor to the event over this weekend, you win a set of objective markers signed by every single player who is attending this weekend. What better way to say beat a John Lennon at a tournament than beat him with his own objective markers that he signed, signing his own death warrant or failure warrant here.
Oh yeah, that is the ultimate flex play.
Ultimate
I heard
flex.
I heard that the signed set of markers make you roll better, so you never roll 9 ones to wound.
Yeah, also you can guilt him and being like, look, I donated a lot to get these. The least you can do is just lay down for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, that might work once. But the great thing is, you own those markers. You get to be that once.
You get to pick when that once is.
Absolutely.
Alex picking up command squads here from the looks of things. That plasma squad is no more. And now he has a squad jumping out of that Goliath.
Speaking of things that are no more, I think a couple of GSE vehicles up at the top are no more. And also, I think the Patriarch, the Claw Daddy himself, is no more.
Claw Daddy gone.
Suffering from the rerolls. Yeah, suffering from the rerolls of the Jar of Dirt, known as the Relic of Loscadia.
Yeah, Relic of Loscadia found an awful lot of bodies by the fact that top left corner of Alex's almost bereft of models entirely. And I think that's leading Alex to have to be a little bit more aggressive here and focus on his game plan. We see him piling out that vehicle, really trying to shore up that home objective so he can keep generating CP, keep generating points.
Do you think the GSC have enough left in the tank to make another good assault onto the guard lines, or is it kind of just a bit too little too late?
It's a bit too little too late. If it wasn't for that like triangular block, Y-shaped block of tanks up there, because here's the thing, John screened that top right corner really well with tanks. If you can get through 3 Lehman Russ, then you can finally get rid of the Hydra and things that are going to wipe out that infantry. G's are called real squishy, and those Hydras are going to do amazing work to get it, but you can't access them unless you get through 30 odd plus toughness 8 wounds with a 2+ save and armor of contempt. I think John screened that out fantastically to the point where Alex is really just scrambling for points in this part of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even armies like I know, like, because they're my go-to Blood Angels, are going to struggle to chew through that many wounds with any level of being efficient. Like Simon Guard running with 35 attacks, wounding 4s at AP4. It's just like you probably get through 1, maybe 2, if you're lucky, and it's just then you're facing down the rest of the Guard army.
And if I remember right, there's 3 squads of rock grinders in there, but with all of the transports being popped, getting close enough to use them while surviving those Hydras is going to be the hard part right there. So again, at this point, John can keep his little firing base in the top right-hand corner and let the other units in his army do all the work. Because with the threats we're looking at right now for Alex is we have a Goliath, we have 2 Goliath trucks, and a couple of Neophyte units sort of left over there.
It looks like we have a unit of something coming out of reserve, looking to be about 8 inches away, so that might be another Rockdale unit coming to charge into that Wyvern. And we have another unit of Acolyte hybrids who just got out of the damaged truck in the bottom left side of your screen. Not sure what they're going to do. It looks like they've only just moved out through the 3 inches. I don't think they've made their actual move yet. If so, they can definitely try and run up and clear the guys who are just being measured to, or clear out that home objective, or make just a charge onto the Chimera to have one less thing on the field.
Yeah, a really good play by Alex as well to go for those Hydras, just to try and kind of save his infantry, which is the heavy hitters he needs to take care of the Leman Russ. A lot of people would be tempted to go for the big scary tanks, but they're not what's taking away all of his tools right now.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe these tanks for the GSC, they're just a bit like Gilliman was back at the start of 8-3, just kind of ignored him and went for all of his friends instead.
Right, absolutely. How the Silent King is now in Nephilim.
Yeah. Is it? Oh no, I'm down to 1 meth for it somehow. Oh well,
Again.
time to bring back the Silent King.
Oh no, you've destroyed your 37th minier this game. God, I hope that gets fixed so quickly.
We have Netcons coming to the RTT tomorrow as well.
You will have Silent King coming to RTT tomorrow, right?
Yes, a friend of mine was literally rebasing Flayed Ones when the points came out. Sorry, when the set came out, and I said, "Are you stopping that and then getting your vehicles out?"
We have, I think, our RTT tomorrow. We're going to be full of Chaos Knights. That seems to be the flavor of the month up here right now. So that'll be real interesting. Hopefully, I don't see a Silent King because I don't want to. Got some more coming in the bottom here.
Yep. Again, looking to be about the 8 inches away, so they can make a charge move. For those of you who didn't know, GSC can either come 8 inches away and charge, or 6 inches away and shoot. So it looks like we're getting some charge action going on in here, trying to put some pressure onto the objectives. And if they do manage to kill whatever they touch, they can then just go back into reserve for a command point.
For sure, and you have to
Because
imagine he's going to do something like that for his rock grinders. Try and keep them safe, to keep them as a threat.
There's certainly more in the tank than I thought there was, given the amount of deep strikes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Alex Indigo can take himself out of the trenches a little bit. The guard have dug for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's still, I think, a task to get through that wall of tanks on that top right-hand side.
For sure, for sure.
But do you think we're going to see some slowdown from John's secondary game?
So what's he got? He's got kill things with that are on the objective. He's got boots on the ground, which is B places, right? If I remember that correctly.
Right. He's got to get past 30 pages of Adeptus to start his ones first.
I've got it. Boots on the ground, 1 victory point for each table quarter that has 1 or more regiment infantry units wholly within it, excluding character model, and not within the center. Add 1 victory point if you have 1 victory point, or if 1 or more units from your army is with a regimental standard within the center of the battlefield, or within your opponent's farming zone. So that one, John should still get like a couple points each per turn. So +2 points, +2 points, +2 points. The turn where he popped out the command squads, which are now dying, he would have gotten a 4 for that. So that's nice. So I reckon we're going to see Bootsligon finish about 10 to 12 points. By Laskin and Bayonet, that should be 10 plus points as well. And Festival Command, again, that's just play guard again, right? So that should be, I'm expecting 12 plus from that one for the guard.
Do you think we're in a situation with guard where they're like, hey, you're going to struggle in primary maybe, so just here's 40 points for your secondary?
Very possibly. The guard, but mind you, the guard in the hands of a good player like John, with the right build, which is enough OBSEC idiots running around, they can mess with primary real bad. They may not score primary that highly, but they can mess yours up. Just because guardsmen move advancing, that's what, like, average of 18 inches?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fast obsec unit right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
faster
absolutely.
than that's faster than witches.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting a charge in as well.
While Alex is moving some stuff here, let's check in on Fred and Jesse to see how the Death Watch are holding up against those sisters. I'm going to continue to ask for things with zero notice as well.
You're not praising the Omniscient enough.
No, I'm obviously not. No.
Have you got the incense burning?
I have not.
Oh, well, that's your
Let me
mistake.
go light it first.
You need to go and get incense first.
No,
Incense
I
store
open for miles.
Yeah, incense store open at 2 o'clock in the morning. Where?
Oh, I like the
Okay.
order incense. Oh, so yeah, not a lot of Death Watch left here.
No, the Death Watch. I think they're trying to. I don't know. Like it looks like they've got one obsec model on that objective where Celestine's currently hanging out. Maybe it is outside of 3 inches. I imagine it is, but there's definitely more space for it to, like, kind of reverse to hang around on the edge. Meanwhile, they're coming up to claim the central objective. I'm not sure where they're going to get their shock tactics from, to be honest, because the sisters never. Oh, they did clear them off that objective entirely. So yeah, so that shock tactics scored nice and easily for the Death Watch.
Mm-hmm. And Fred's real good about pulling models in a way that encourages shock tactics.
Yeah, I reckon you're going to see a lot of Space Marinists actively not running Rights of War to make shock tactics an easier secondary to have.
Mm-hmm.
Just encourage those obsec idiots to run up in range and go, aha, thank you for the 3 points. Norgo Matthew over on YouTube saying, we'll check that one out, referring to the incense stores. Peak sales hours.
Several states now have legalized incense in America.
Oh boy. Yeah, it looks like the Death Watch are trying to play cagely here, but I think the sisters are in a very good position to come down very hard on the Death Watch next turn, taking them off of all but one objective.
Mm-hmm. Which we're playing scouring, guys. One objective doesn't get you anything.
Yeah, the sisters have a lot of high AP melee in here, which will just do work into the Death Watch. And if that wasn't enough, they do have a squad of multi-melter Retributors floating about somewhere. Maybe in that Rhino.
Because I believe they still have a unit in that Rhino, or is that blob of things to the side of right-hand side of it, the unit that was in it?
They still have I think they still have 2 units in the Rhino. I think I see 2 models on top of the Rhino, signifying maybe the 5-man Red Preacher squad and the 5-man Repentia squad. Sorry, girl. Squad.
Yeah, 5-person squad.
5-person squad. Yes, there we go. The coffee's wearing off now, so forgive me.
No problem. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to see something. I think Fred's gonna have to make a couple big gambles. We still have some Death Watch that top left-hand corner, I believe, behind the rock in the back. But it's a bad time to be pinned into your own deployment zone by sisters in the scouring.
Yeah, it's exactly where you did not want to be. You want to be the one doing the pinning. Do you think maybe Fred was a bit too cautious here? Do you think if the Death Watch just went, here's my entire army, deal with it, and then at least that way the Death Watch would be in range to smack back the following turn?
I mean, I think so. I think the thing is, Fred played a little cagey because there are a lot of combat threats and a lot of things that are just going to kind of tear through his armor like butter. And especially you have that Rhino threat up there. You have Anti-Val, you have everything there. It can be really hurtful. So you try to play a little bit cagey. Sadly, Jesse just dropped Trell and pumped Ray away. moved all the way across that bottom table. He kind of really closed off that bottom right objective. We believe is the cripple stronghold, which is what I'm going to call it from here on out. Which I don't think anyone should take in a lot of the missions. Yeah, I think the way I want to say it, Fred's a phenomenal player. I want to say he's maybe trying cripple stronghold as a mission or as a secondary, and I think sticking to that and committing a lot of his army to that bottom half of the table has just cost him a lot.
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to try out their new secondaries at least once, even if you think they're not the best, because until you actually see it on the tabletop, you won't really know.
Because
So it looks like
we're saying here that cripple stronghold isn't a good one, but if it fits your playstyle and your army, then it can be the best one.
it looks like a unit of sisters dying here because the miracle dice was just being rolled. Looking at the miracle dice pool, we have, I think that might be 3 6s and a 1, which is a very nasty miracle dice pool to be facing into. The 1 being used to save a unit from morale, of course, and those 6s making even a 12-inch charge easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which means you really have to respect those threat ranges, because after you might go, it's a 10-inch charge with a repentia, they never make it, then suddenly miracle dice happen.
Yeah. Something I've come to realize is with Sisters, threat range is the maximum amount of movement because the miracle dice will make it so. Some saves coming in, looks like, or possibly some attacks. Looks like Fred's doing some work.
Are we maybe having a charge from the 1 biker? Oh, I think the biker might have some friends. Yeah, the biker's charging in. He cannot decide where he's going to go though.
I believe is that Celestine there? Or
that might be Celestine. So maybe Celestine has died in the shooting phase, and this is the squad trying to finish her off.
Yeah, hopefully they do. And Fred's dice got a little bit better from earlier because so I think he's put it a little too close to the chest. Stayed in his deployment zone. Guys, scouring is a meat grinder mission where you just kind of run to the middle of the table until one person doesn't have any units left to die. Really, Jesse went aggressive, Fred went defensive, and let him get just utter table board control. At any point, that Rhino can pop out, kind of take care of that top left. Jesse's really dictating the pace of this game here.
Yeah. Those Paragon Warsus next turn with Anti-Val are going to happily clear the middle and just stand there and basically just T-pose after that.
Yeah. Yeah. The sheer arrogance of using 400 to 500 points of your army just to stand there and be threatening is just
right.
Godly. Please come to your stronghold. We will not allow you in. Let's check out while this combat is going on what's going on between Mr. John and Mr. Alex. Loving our tech priest learning my audio cues here. We're down a tank.
Oh dear. Mind you, that tank was on 2 wounds. So
yeah, we're down.
If that tank had survived, something had gone wrong.
Yeah, we're down a 2-wound tank. The block still in. John using those 2 tanks. There's no way you can get a base through there. Their tips are touching barrel wise. And again, we still have the anti-infantry up at the top there too. What's the game looking like to you just now, Chris?
It's looking like the JSC definitely still have the work cut out for them, but if they keep on removing these scoring opportunities that the guard have, so taking off their chaff, taking off their weaker tanks soon, John might be in the game where he's got 3 or 4 models left.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, those models are even Rust battle tanks, but it doesn't matter if they can't get line of sight to things hiding behind buildings, or if they can't hold objectives because they're not OPSEC.
Yeah, and they're going to be forced to move to try and get objectives at that point here.
Speaking of, it looks like it is John's turn. Maybe I see some movements happening.
Yep. Which I'm going to assume is John's turn 4.
Yes.
Looking at that.
I wonder if Alex's scores have been updated, but we'll have to see if they do.
They're pushing through right now.
Oh, Cool. Scores are updating as we speak.
Cool. But yeah, it looks like also we have a couple of tanks that are tied up at the top there, and maybe that white tank is on 3 wounds, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I can see the dice.
The middle Chimera looks to be on 7 wounds left.
Yes, that was Claw Daddy's work. Yeah, scratch the paintwork.
Poor Claw Daddy. He tried so hard.
R.I.P. King.
Rest in power, Claw Daddy.
I would never call a patriarch anything but Claw Daddy ever. No.
I'm gonna ask to see people's lists and be like, "Oh, you brought a Claw Daddy, huh?" And I can be like, "Excuse me." Don't worry about it.
It's like the South Park crab people. If you ever saw that show.
Yeah, I Claw Daddy, Claw.
Oh man, Midnight Shift at Charity Hammer. You get the top quality commentary right here. It's only going to get wilder and wilder as the night draws on.
The night draws on.
The morning draws on for me.
I was about to have a little heart attack here. Treat myself to a little football kit. Thought they'd taken my 2 stars away, but instead they'd moved them to the sleeve. So that's all good here. John, aggressively measuring and counting here.
It looks like we might have some first rank fire, second rank fire. I'm going to roll 6s action.
Yeah, I think that's again the best plan is if you just roll 6s and don't not roll 6s.
Yeah, I mean it's just Innes Wilson's plan to winning 40k.
It's on a shirt, you know. And there's some 6s, so 7 wounds so far.
We actually found there's a website who are unironically selling that shirt as a product. Like no joke, you can get, but it's off center. So it's like a rip-off, which I think makes it even better.
I was gonna use my Cricut and just make my own, but let me look this up here. Hey, keep commenting while I
If you just Google Innes Wilson, I think shirt, I think it comes up. We found it as Team Scotland the other day. It looks like the Guard have picked up a squad of infantry here, and maybe a command squad have popped out.
So the first. The first thing that pops up when you Google Innes Wilson, did you know what that is?
Maybe his Twitter?
No, it's a Twitter, but it's the Innes Wilson, who is a singer. He's the frontman for Freightliner and Part-Time Cool from Ontario, Canada.
Innes... Well, yeah. So if you could go Innes Wilson's 40k shirt, it comes up. So we did this as a limited run shirt from a small business nearby in the town where Innes lives, and it's just now some company has taken it because we uploaded photos from an event once.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so for those of you who did not know the t-shirt, it reads the 6-step plan to winning 40k by Innes Wilson. So it's roll first, don't go second. Roll 6s, don't roll not 6s. Win the game, don't lose the game.
All right. Which again is all quality things. I'm gonna be DMing for a shirt there, for sure. But yeah, what's actually going on in Warhammer this time of night?
So it looks like some saves are being rolled for some more acolyte hybrids who are standing out in the open, sadly against some plasma gunfire or something of the like, and are dying horribly as a result. No need to overcharge your plasma guns here. They've only got 1 wound, and their toughness 3 or something like that, toughness 4, so they will die horrible. Meanwhile, tanks have fallen back so that the other 2 tanks can support fire in and get rid of the pesky GSC who are currently occupying the top right objective. Yeah, the guard are kind of been pushed back a little bit here, haven't they?
They have. No, absolutely. So I was disturbed by a related product to that Ennis Wilson shirt that I saw.
I'm gonna have to get one.
I will.
Wear that WC.
I'm gonna be ordering one now, for sure. Yeah, guard being pushed back. The tank wall in the top left kind of broken, top right kind of broken open a little bit. Alex forced to kind of keep one of the Goliaths back on his home objective to keep generating that sweet CP. And we are stuck now with merely 3 Lehman Russ.
Yeah. And unfortunately, though, it looks like a lot of the GSC infantry have been picked up. I think there's one squad just hanging out by Alex Mendigo's hands up at the top there. Not sure if anything else can see them to shoot, but maybe they will survive and get some more charges off in the following turns. But yeah, it looks like
You would hope.
Both players kind of only holding 2 objectives right now.
Yeah, nothing on the top right one there. Nothing
Nothing
on
but
the
the top right
left.
for anyone
No.
on the top side of the board. Yes, and you only get the CP for holding no man's objectives and beyond in this mission. So very important to hold on to one of those as much as you can. Sindri Tepek over on YouTube says those tanks may be in a bit of trouble. Absolutely. It depends if the GSC can can keep the pressure up.
You would certainly hope so.
Yeah. I think, though, there's only about 5 infantry left in that deep sight squad, just at the top there, past the building. If they pass the morale check, they can probably tie up one or two of these tanks again.
This kind of comes down to a race between how fast John can clean up the infantry squads and how quickly Alex can close the gap and get rid of some of that anti-infantry tanks.
For sure. I don't know how Alex's R&D is going as well, but it looks like he's going to struggle to get in to do R&D entirely within John's half of the board, really, at this stage. Not sure if he's pushed the squad back into reserve after deploying them on the table so they can stay in for longer and they can pop up and do it.
You would kind of hope the bottom right-hand corner has a little gap for him to try and go in, but it's a suicide.
The bottom right-hand corner should. It just depends if he's anything that can get there.
Right.
Yes, Alex needs to do some catching up, but we haven't had Alex's turn 4 primary yet, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like John's currently holding a 10-point lead, which may stay. Has a 10-point lead. It looks like we have some command squads charging into combat with the GSE, which may be a mistake, because even the base GSE troopers can do a lot of damage in combat versus the guard. They
sure can. Maybe it's just sort of a play to try and get some free extra movement off of that command squad to get it back in that home objective. It's a risky play, but at this point you have to feel John's feeling pretty comfortable. Yeah.
Looks like we have Athion Veretta over on YouTube saying, "Holy cow, is Charity Hammer 24 hours? It's a bit more than 24 hours, isn't it? It's like 80 hours or something like that."
It's Thursday afternoon to Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Luckily, you have a quasi-cultural, multinational team helping take care of it from afar. Chris benefits being in Scotland, where it's about 10 past 10 in the morning. Me, of course, being in Alaska, where it is 1 in the morning. But yeah, you have some great players like John Lennon, Alex McDougall, playing an amazing game, trying out some of the new rules. John's trying out Guard with Armor of Contempt to somewhat success here. We're also, in this time slot, we have Jesse Sells, recent BAO winner, taking on Fred Fortman, a really good quality player from the Pacific Northwest, and his Death Watch, and another great game. And we're all coming together, of course. Chris, why are we here?
We are here to raise money for Child's Play, which is an amazing charity which operates all over the world to put entertainment systems, video games, board games, toys into children's hospitals and domestic abuse shelters. They also have ground staff, which they employ full time to do the tech support, the setting up, teaching kids how to play, so that the nursing staff aren't overwhelmed with more things to do, because goodness knows they already have too much to do as it is. And it just helps kids pass the time whilst going through some of the toughest parts of their young lives. Every $30 you donate will get you a raffle ticket, which is our way of saying thank you for giving some money to the cause. And we have given away loads of prizes already. So we get lots of small prizes, which happen in between each round. And we also have some big prizes. So we have a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games, which is basically a full army, as I understand it. We of any game system or then some. Then you have Sean Naden, who is the captain of Team America and is an amazing painter. Will paint you an army. You can chat about that with him if you win and see what you two can come up with. And we also have a top donor prize, which is these lovely projector markers here on screen, made by 3D6 Wargaming. Will be given to you and will be signed by all the players and all the staff and everyone at Charity Hammer as just a way of saying thank you to our top donor. So you can go and donate via charityhammer.com. The link's in whatever streaming service you're watching this broadcast on down below, and just give what you can. And also shout about this. Go tell your friend to watch this. Share, like, comment, subscribe, anything you can to boost the signal is greatly
Chris, we're going to make you a YouTuber yet. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell. Let the people know.
I actually have a channel.
As you can tell, it's at 10 in the morning. Coffee's wearing off.
Yeah. It was just made as you said that sentence. No, so I have my own channel, but I'm not going to shout about it because I'm not here to shout about myself. I'm here to shout about the kids.
Yeah, awesome. Part of Charity Hammer, as always, is one of the hardest GTs. This year it's a slightly different format. I'm just going to spoil some stuff. We're going to go. They played in pods to decide who would advance, and the top 8 were decided earlier today. The games for that are going to be tomorrow. Do you guys want to hear some pairings for that one real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of pushed out here.
Yeah.
So the pairings for the single elimination, Elite 8. It's going to be John Lennon, who's on stream right now, one of the games here, with his sisters against Mitchell Hunter's Custodes. We have Anthony Vanella with his Harlequins against Michael Timpey's Chaos Knights. You have Sean Naden running Orcs against Matt Evans' Forces of the Hive Mind. Then we have Alex McDougall running Forces of the Hive Mind against Jesse Sell's sisters. Those are the 4 big matchups tomorrow. What are your sort of thoughts about that, Chris?
That was a lot of information to absorb there. So
no, not at all. Yeah,
I am going to just basically say, I was going to point out one thing to the audience. A lot of the players that have just been name dropped now, they're currently playing, and it's good. They're going to be done at 3 o'clock in the morning their time. Then they're up at up for 9 to play games, and they'll be sleep deprived going into this already. So this is some tough 40k action coming your way. I know that Sean Naden has been crumping it with the Orcs. So that's been so I reckon he's gonna have a good game in. Anthony Vanella, I'm a little bit disappointed he's not on the Blood Angels.
He would.
He said he would. There was a poll and everything, but I get it. He didn't really have a list he liked, and you want to bring your A game to this kind of event. So I get it. So I'm keen to see how the Quins get on. Because the Quins got changed a lot in the data state. And then I reckon John Lennon with the sisters is going to be a spectacular game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Who is your pick? Who's your pick to take the whole thing? We have in our top 8, which I can run through again here really quick, seeing as I just kind of blasted through the whole thing. We have John Lennon playing Sisters. Mitchell Hunter playing Custodes. We have Anthony Vanella with Harlequins. Michael Timpey with Chaos Knights. Sean Naden with Orcs. Matt Evan playing Forces of the Hive Mind. Alex McDougall playing Forces of the Hive Mind. And Jesse Sell playing Sisters.
I'm going to have to give it to the Orcs. Sean Aiden on the Orcs they've been doing so well so far, and it's just crumping time. That's all I can say. If Anthony wasn't Blood Angels, I would be backing him all the way. But he did betray me. So no.
He cowered it out. Guys,
Yeah.
if you go to Challonge, CHALLONGE.com, you can put down what you think the bracket is going to be. Search for Charity, Hammer, Elite, and the number 8. All of those separate words. You can put your predictions in. Whoever gets the entire bracket correct is put into a draw to win one of the new Chaos Night boxes, which is a fantastic value, honestly. I love those night kits. I put together 14 of those stupid war dogs. Again, go to challonge.com, search for Charity Hammer Elite 8. Put your predictions in for prizes, and also just bragging rights to let you know that you know more than someone who's talking on a stream.
Yeah, and you're probably going to know more than me. It's not that hard. So yeah, go and make your predictions and just become part of it.
Yeah. We're going to see if we can get a signed Ennis Wilson Freightliner t-shirt as part of the prize pool. So
I am seeing him on Sunday. I will do my best.
I'll have to order that shirt first, but perfect. 64-40 to John over Alex right now. They're coming into the end of turn 5. I think this game should be fairly wrapping up here soon by the fact that if we look at the table, Alex has a Goliath truck.
Got and some infantry. Yep.
Well,
out. Bye.
Just some infantry. Let's see what's going on with Jesse and Hank on table.
Jesse and Frank.
I guess Jesse and Frank. That's right.
On the lava table where the dice
table
are hot and the players are hotter.
Yep. Allegedly, we can't see faces, but they must be to be.
I know the tops of the head, man. Yeah. So eventually, when the servo skull pivots his way over to the lava table, over to Mustafar, we may see Vader's castle somewhere.
Or, hear me out. It is 2:30 in the morning there. Mitch might have succumbed to the full brown sleep. Oh no, it's just
no, never mind.
Comes right back up.
Go, Mitch. Coming through for us once again.
Merely question his loyalty, and yeah, it's done.
Okay, noted. I'm gonna make a whole post-it of that question, Mitch's loyalty. So what do you see here, John?
Sisters spread out a little bit more, grabbing the necessary objectives. This guy's mission, they're playing Stranglehold. No, Stranglehold, sorry. Gosh, Scouring. Why am I getting that confused every time they're playing Scouring?
Because you're seeing Stranglehold on the side.
By choice, they're playing Scouring, which a fair play to them. Fred's Death Watch up against Jesse's sisters. Looks like Jesse has spread out to pretty much control the table. We have Fort Fred in the red lava bubble on the left-hand side. The problem is that's not really giving him secondary. If we could maybe get a score update or something on this game here. I want to say, just looking at the secondary choices in table state right now, Jesse should be quite up on this one here. Yeah,
it looks like Celestine has survived. But she is in combat, so maybe she can clear herself out. I'm not sure how the action works to bring Gemini back, if you can do that in combat. But if she can do that, that would be lovely. Just to get some more wounds in that into that unit. It looks like the Rhino has emptied itself. Maybe there's one unit left in there, but definitely one unit has jumped out. A lot of Death Watch being picked up.
Yep,
from the forest in the middle of the board there, and also I think Fred just said, give me that model, it's fine. So you don't have to roll out Celestine 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, winning on 3s, AP4 damage 2.
Onival and the Second Sense up there in the center objective. We have now holding 3 and holding more.
However,
I believe they're holding the top left one as well.
I think so. Maybe some more potential there. But I just want to point out that the Miracle Dice pool for Jesse is not looking strong whatsoever right now. There's 3 ones there.
I guess we just gotta hope. He's just gonna hope that he has to take a whole bunch of morale tests.
Which the Death Watch may be happy to oblige in providing that service. Not sure if the Fred's going to switch into a different chapter here at the start of his 3rd turn. But he hasn't got a lot left in the tank. But it's still Space Marines at the end of the day. They still can do some nifty things. I don't know if there's any CP kicking about for Fred, but if there is, that might help.
Looks like we have a couple kill teams still left. We have our top left unit hiding behind that lava rock heroically. Assuming those aren't casualties. Then the middle, it looks like we have a squad there. So he still has some things to throw out. But we're really going to have to kind of dig deep to make it happen. He can, if I remember right, combat squad for a command point, right?
I think
or breakdown.
That's an old rule.
Is that old man addition, fatigue, and sleepiness?
I think that's 8th Ed Space Marines had that.
Trying to kind of figure out some ways here that Fred can and split and maybe hold some more objectives. Scouring.
You've got the chaplain on bike who can maybe go finish off Celestine by himself. He's not a pushover in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with some reroll to hit support from the litanies. And I think at this point the Death Watch just need to kind of just do one big push and hope it's enough.
Let me go hard.
Yeah, switch into White Scars or Blood Angels and go into the Assault Doctrine and just try and get in there. I'm not sure how many command points Jesse is on, if there's an interrupt threat looming, but certainly, like, if it was me, if there was no interrupt threat looming and there was 3 ones in the Miracle Dice pool, I will be pushing everything I had.
Right, absolutely. Because usually where Miracle Dice come to save, and Jesse has had a lot of 6s up to this point. Your point about this pool, that is not a threatening pool.
No. However, there is one trick that you can do with Miracle Dice and ones when you're getting charged at as sisters, but it's not going to help them that much. So, back at the start of the edition, there was a bunch of plasma pistols being floated around on the Sergeant Superiors, and they were always the last one alive because they had all the bonus war gear. So what players were doing, I saw this in the Art of War a few times, was you would multi-charge the Sergeant Superior and something else, and then they would overwatch you with the plasma pistol, overcharge it, use the 1 to die, and then suddenly your charge is going to fail because you can't make that. You cannot make it into all charge targets.
So devious. You gotta love it.
It is tricksy trapsy, but it is 40k. That's kind of the name of the game half the time.
There's nothing more grimdark than self-suicide to stop the thing happening.
Oopsies, it got hot. Oh well. It looks like the chaplain on bike and the Death Watch kill team has pushed up into Anti-Val and the Paragon Warsuits. I wonder if anyone's going to run over to deal with Celestine, though.
It's had a lot of resources put into that center objective, but it looks like we're doing some measuring towards Celestine there. It's like you can't leave her out.
No, Celestine will happily just go clean everyone up. You don't have to hold every objective to win the Scouring. You just have to hold more than your opponent. So sometimes just walking off objectives is the thing to do if it means that your killing unit can now go and kill something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many wounds Celestine's left on. It looks like a 4.
Which I'm sure that kill team can take care of.
Yeah, should do. She is only toughness 3 at the end of the day.